that I might not last the day. And then you call me and it's not so bad, it's not so bad. I want to thank you for giving me the best day of my life. Oh, just to be with you is having the best day of my life.
This is Nationwide 90 FM, owned and operated by Nationwide News Network. We broadcast from our studios at 6 Bradley Avenue, Kingston 10, Jamaica. Transmitting on the FM 90 band. 90.3 from Peters Rock in St. Andrew and Murphy Hill in St. Anne. Serving Kingston and St. Andrew, St. Catherine, St. Anne, parts of Clarendon, St. Mary, and St. Thomas. 90.5 from Huntley in Manchester. Transmitting to St. Elizabeth, Westmoreland, Manchester, Clarendon, rural St. Andrew, and parts of St. Thomas. And 90.7 from Cooper's Hill in St. Andrew and Flower Hill in St. James. Serving Westmoreland, Hanover, St. James, sections of Trelawney, Kingston, St. Catherine, Clarendon, St. Mary, Portland, and St. Anne. Nationwide 90 FM also broadcasts on the World Wide Web on nationwideradiojm.com and on Flow on channel 916. Nationwide 90 FM, a revolution in media.
Put your money in motion. Drive VMW, VM Wealth Management. Transform your everyday.
The time by VM Wealth Management is
6 o'clock. From the studios of Nationwide Radio, morning radio the right way. It's Nationwide This Morning. Good morning to you. I'm Tana Thomas. Coming up in the news at 6 for this morning, Wednesday, July 16, 2025. The police have seized $41 million in illicit cash in the 44 days since they launched a crackdown on lottery scamming. JHTA says rising consumer confidence mirrors growth in the tourism industry. Inflation falls below the minimum mark set by the Bank of Jamaica. In regional news, two female politicians lament how the Old Boys Club retains a stranglehold on politics in the Cayman Islands. In international news, police in Thailand arrest sex worker believed to have extorted almost $12 million from Buddhist monks. And in sports, a veteran cricket commentator says he's hurt by the Windies' meek surrender to Australia in Sabina Park day-night test. The details after the break.
Experience the joy of buying a brand new Hyundai without breaking the bank. Yes, buying a brand new car should never leave you broke. From stylish designs and safety features to comfortable driving and reliability, Hyundai is the choice. Hyundai vehicles come standard with 2 years free service and 5 years warranty and roadside assistance for your peace of mind. Drive 2 years without service cost and 5 years without fear of being stranded. Hyundai. Conditions apply.
Catch the first news of the day. A comprehensive package of local, international, sports, and business news. The news at 6 on Nationwide 90 FM.
Now to the details. More than 44 million Jamaican dollars have been seized by the Jamaica Constabulary Force JCF through their anti-lottery scam campaign. The campaign, dubbed Scam Done, Justice the Run, was launched 41 days ago on June 5. Abigail Bartley reports.
The JCF's anti-lottery scam unit says since June 5, 24 persons have been arrested for breaching the Law Reform Act. They include 20 men and 4 women. The force says an additional $55,000 have been seized along with cash in other currencies. The JCF's anti-lottery scam unit says since June 5, 24 persons have been arrested for breaching the Law Reform Act. They include 20 men and 4 women. The force says an additional $55,000 have been seized along with cash in other currencies. Some 20 high-end motor vehicles have also been seized, as well as 3 imitation firearms. More than 80 assorted rounds of ammunition and 15 pounds of cocaine were also confiscated. According to the JCF, the seizures were a result of 91 raids conducted by the unit. Those raids took place in St. James, Westmoreland, Trelawney, and Hanover. 5 persons were arrested in the most recent operation in Trelawney between July 10 and 12. 3 were subsequently charged. They are 19-year-old Jaquan Beckford, 60-year-old Maxine Walcott, and 27-year-old Christopher Cole. All 3 were charged with possession of identity information with intent and possession of an access device. Beckford, Walcott, and Cole were reportedly found with material containing the names and addresses of persons living overseas, as well as their credit card information. Abigail Bartley for Nationwide News.
Prime Minister Dr. Andrew Holness says the fiscal crisis of the 1990s under the former PNP administration served to retard the progress of Jamaica's entrepreneurial class by decades. The Prime Minister sought to drive home the point while addressing business owners at the Micro, Small and Medium-Sized Enterprises Linkages Day put on by the Ministry of Industry, Investment and Commerce at UTEC's Papine campus in St. Andrew on Tuesday. Mahira Stewart tells us more.
It's called the FinSAC era in dubious honor of the government entity created to stabilize the country's fiscal system following its near collapse in the 1990s. The period was marked by high interest rates and high inflation that saddled the government with a public debt that exceeded 100% of the country's gross domestic product, GDP. That debt has only recently been paid off. Prime Minister Dr. Andrew Holness says the scars of this period run deep to this day.
We must be honest about the past. Jamaica's entrepreneurial landscape still bears the scars of one of the most painful chapters in our economic history. The financial sector meltdown of the 1990s and the FinSAC intervention. This was over 30 years ago. And I would venture to say that maybe 70% of this audience would maybe have knowledge but not fully understand and appreciate the profoundly devastating impact of that era on the Jamaican economy.
Beyond the fiscal and economic damage, Prime Minister Holness says the country's entrepreneurial spirit was also damaged.
FinSAC not only saddled the country with a mountain of debt that has taken us nearly 30 years to recover from, but it also broke the spirit of entrepreneurism in our country. Thousands of small and medium enterprises were wiped out overnight. Generations of family-owned businesses built on sacrifice and sweat were lost in a minute. Many business owners faced unbearable distress. Business owners even took their lives, and others lost everything they had worked for.
The Prime Minister says the government policies of the day contributed to this decline, while also cultivating a hostility towards profit-seeking ventures.
And so from that experience, why would anyone take the risk of starting a business when government paper was yielding returns of 30% and upwards per annum? The reward for innovation was drowned by the false comfort of high interest rates and financial speculation. But it wasn't only that. There was an unrelenting assault on people who were involved in business, where business people were viewed as exploiters, called capitalists. If you were trying to earn a profit, somehow it was a dirty word.
Dr. Holness says the return of entrepreneurial confidence has only now begun thanks to the work of his administration.
There are those who will believe I'm making a political point. Of course I am. But if you stop there, you would miss the importance of the point being made. And the point that is being made is that the Jamaican economy, the Jamaican society, cannot grow unless its entrepreneurial class grows. Unless we have people who are willing to mobilize capital, labor, technology, management, creativity, and put them together in an ecosystem to create value and to make a profit.
Mahiri Stewart for Nationwide News.
President of the Jamaica Hotel and Tourist Association, JHTA, Christopher Jarrett, is welcoming the increase in business and consumer confidence. Both consumer and business confidence improved slightly for the second quarter of 2025, ending in June.
We all know that tourism affects almost every sector. There's a trickle-down effect, and employment in our sector usually means goodwill elsewhere. So we contribute to 30% of the GDP. We'd want to remind people of that. So the fact that we are, in my opinion, heading in the right direction. We're not where we would like to be, obviously, but I think we are heading in the right direction. Then talk as well for consumer confidence.
According to the latest survey conducted for the Jamaica Chamber of Commerce by the Don Anderson-led Market Research Services Limited, business confidence improved by 1.7 percentage points over the April to June period. Consumer confidence also improved over the period by 1.4 percentage points. Jarrett says further improvements should be seen in the coming quarters following the U.S. government's recent upgrade of its travel advisory for Jamaica.
There's been a reduction in the travel advisory, which is good for us. So we've gone from a level 3 to 2. So we'll find that the improvement will come in another few months. So we'll see it in the next quarter. But what is happening now is still an effect of the people who would have already booked based on the previous advisory. So that's one plus. In addition, the cruise stopover arrivals had increased for the month of June by 1.5%, which is an indication of a potential turnaround in the flatness that we have seen in the early part of the year from February to May.
Christopher Jarrett, JHT President. Meanwhile, President of the Jamaica Manufacturers and Exporters Association, JMEA, Sidney Thwaites, says while he welcomes the increase in consumer confidence, businesses continue to face challenges in the manufacturing sector.
I think it's great that confidence is up because I think a lot of what has a role in the economy, I think confidence is a big influencer on how our businesses act and when they invest and when they do the things that move the economy forward. I think it's always a positive thing. I do think there are some segments in manufacturing that are quite challenged, but I think the fact that tourism has been resilient and will draw in some of the agro products and some of the other products and we're seeing a sustainability in there with a drop in the travel warning. There are some things that make sense that we would see that can the business confidence increase.
Sidney Thwaites, JMEA President, and first Vice President of the JCC, Emil Leiber, says the latest report on business and consumer confidence affirms that the country is heading in the right direction.
We are continuing to move in the right direction on a macro level. There is still work to be done. There's always work to be done. But I think we should take from this that things continue to move in the right direction. The needle is moving forward in a positive way. And so, stay the course.
Emil Leiber, first Vice President of the Jamaica Chamber of Commerce. Both men were speaking on Nationwide at 5 on Tuesday. Now, the Statistical Institute of Jamaica, Statin, says the country's point-to-point inflation rate fell to 3.8% as at the end of June. Point-to-point inflation is a method of measuring the rate of price increase for a specific period, most commonly the annual rate, by comparing the price level at a given point in time to the price level at the exact same point in the previous year. It's the first time since October 2021 that the country's inflation rate fell below the 4 to 6% target band set by the Bank of Jamaica. This was influenced mainly by the decline in prices of items and commodities in the divisions food and non-alcoholic beverages, housing, water, electricity, gas and other fuels, and restaurant and accommodation services. Roads, infrastructure, and water are the top issues facing voters in north central Clarendon as they prepare to head to the polls in the next general election. That's according to a recent Blue Dot poll. The poll, which finds the incumbent Robert Morgan with a near 12-point lead over his challenger, the PNP's Dr. O.J. Dixon, was conducted in June. It canvassed the views of 400 registered voters in the crucial Clarendon seat. The poll has a margin of error of plus or minus 5%. When asked what were the most important issues they believed their MP should focus on, 22.7% identified water access, while 22% pointed to roads and infrastructure. Nearly 12% of respondents highlighted jobs and employment as their key issues. Youth opportunities were the next big item, with 10% of respondents identifying them as their top issue. Morgan, who is the country's works minister, says he's working to fix the water and infrastructure problems faced by his constituents. North Central Clarendon is expected to be a key seat on election night. It forms part of the Northern Clarendon belt that the JLP is hoping to hold on to as it seeks a third term in government. The JLP Deputy Leader James Robertson says PNP President Mark Golding owes the people of Jamaica an apology for what he says is a series of disrespectful remarks and stunts. Robertson says Golding has yet to apologize for a 2023 gimmick in which he held a chain around the neck of a black man in his South St. Andrew constituency before symbolically unlocking the restraint and freeing him from bondage.
When he said dead people can vote, he owes Jamaica an apology. And he referred to his friends as tapanaris. He owes every one of us here tonight a big, big apology. When he went on a platform in Jamaica and held the chain around a black man, he owes all of us an apology.
Speaking Sunday at a gospel concert hosted by the JLP's Era Council 2 in St. Catherine, Robertson said the PNP president also owes the country an apology for referring to JLP chairman Robert Montague as a little boy.
Mark Golding is not fit to be Prime Minister of Jamaica. Everybody see a dance, chaka chaka. He is condescending. He is disrespectful. He owes the ombudsman an apology. He owes Bobby Montague an apology. When he called Labour rights damn fool, he owes us an apology. He owes Michelle Charles an apology when he had the nerve to call her classless.
James Robertson, a JLP deputy leader, speaking in Old Harbour, St. Catherine on Sunday. And that's it for the local segment of the news. Up next, regional and international.
Be in the know. Learn how local government is working for you. Follow us on Instagram and X at LocalGovJA and on Facebook at Ministry of Local Government and Community Development. The time by the Ministry of Local Government and Community Development is
6:17.
From visas to green cards, the Consular Queen at Barrett Immigration is your trusted guide for all things U.S. immigration. As a premier immigration consulting firm, we help reunite families and resolve your toughest immigration issues with care, speed, and affordability. Call now at 470-593-8448. That's 470-593-8448. Barrett Immigration, where the Consular Queen helps you unite families and change lives.
In regional and international news this morning, regional news in the Cayman Islands. A veteran female politician and a first-time candidate have united to call for more representation for women in Parliament. The Cayman Compass is reporting that Lucille Seymour, a former member of the then Legislative Assembly and a founding member of the People's Progressive Party, want more to be done to ensure higher representation of women in the country's politics. That view is shared by Giva Richards, a first-time candidate in this year's general election for the Cayman Islands National Party. Seymour, who's 80 years old, says women needed greater opportunities to hone their leadership, debating skills, and problem solving through civic or sporting organizations. She says the introduction of an appointed upper chamber, similar to Bermuda's Senate, could be used to promote women and emerging leaders, where they could gain political and leadership experience and build political profiles. Richards says while most political parties in the Cayman Islands had made admirable strides in promoting female candidates, there undoubtedly remains remnants of the good old boys club culture still existing in some areas. International news: Thai police have arrested a woman who allegedly had sexual relations with monks and then used photos and videos of the acts to extort money from them. The woman, who police are calling Miss Gulf, had sex with at least 9 monks, police said at a press conference on Tuesday. They believe she received around 385 million baht, or $11.9 million US dollars, or 8.8 million pounds over the past 3 years. Investigators who searched her house found more than 80,000 photos and videos used to blackmail the monks. This scandal is the latest to rock Thailand's much revered Buddhist institution, which in recent years has been plagued with allegations of monks engaging in sex offenses and drug trafficking. Police said the case first came to their attention in mid-June when they learned that an abbot in Bangkok had suddenly left the monkhood after being extorted by a woman. Miss Gulf had a relationship with the monk in May 2024. She later claimed to have his baby and demanded child support of more than 7 million baht. Authorities then discovered that other monks had similarly transferred money to Miss Gulf, which police called her modus operandi. And that's it for regional and international news. Up next, sports.
I use the Radar app to help source my seeds and also my seedlings.
Me run my farm as a business, so I use the app for weather forecast and crop planning.
When we need me extension officer, I just book a visit on the app. Quick time she reach. We check pest alert every morning. Me now make her mash up my ground.
Real farmers, real support, real easy. Crop Radar and Farm Smarter. Get the mobile app on Android and iOS.
This July, the world turns to Jamaica
for the Caribbean Investment Forum, the region's premier investment event.
From July 29 to 31, the Montego Bay Convention Center comes alive
with global thought leaders, exclusive investment opportunities, high-impact deal-making sessions.
Are you ready to invest in the Caribbean's future? Book now at CaribbeanInvestmentForum.com.
Let's shape a smart, green, connected Caribbean. July 29 to 31, Montego Bay. Powered by Caribbean Export, Government of Jamaica, Jampro, EU, CARICOM, Republic Bank, and IDB.
For all your electrical needs, visit ABC Electrical Sales. They stock a wide variety of electrical supplies, including plugs, switches, panel boards, and conduits, plus energy-saving fixtures. ABC Electrical Sales stocks brands like GE, Siemens, Philips, Cutler Hammer, and Allen Bradley. They also offer free island-wide delivery just to suit your needs. Visit them at Shop 8, Hagley Park Plaza, Kingston 10, or call 876-754-3714-5 or 876-754-3825-8. ABC Electrical Sales, for a better choice in the electrical business.
Time Time now for your morning sports. A veteran cricket commentator Joseph Reds Pereira is among the latest to voice his disappointment in the West Indies horror show in the third test against Australia. The Windies, chasing 204 to win, were blasted out for just 27 in 14.3 overs. That total was just 1 run better than New Zealand's test record low of 26 in 1955 and 20 runs short of West Indies' previous worst total of 47.
I saw my first test match in 1953, West Indies, India, 54, England, West Indies, 55, Australia, West Indies. I did my first test match on radio in 1971, India versus the West Indies. I was able to do 152 test matches, over 200 ODIs, 5 World Cups, and that was the lowest low. I never dreamt that I would see the West Indies. It brought tears to my eyes. The bowling was excellent. We competed even Steven with the Australian batsmen. In fact, we did ask them a lot of questions, but the batting was just all too feeble, all too weak, no fight.
The St. Lucia-based commentator says he has a few suggestions that could help turn around the team's fortunes.
The future lies in changes. We need to go back to some of the basic things that made us great. Selectors, picking a team from a first-class season, schoolboy cricket, the club structure that was once great. Schoolboy cricket was once great. And we need to have A tours to develop our under-19 and under-23. And most of all, we need to change the batting coach. We need to change the fitness coach, and we need a professional fielding coach. And for the upcoming tour, I think we need to take a very young team of the talent that we have seen and expose that talent and start to rebuild.
Joseph Reds Pereira. LA 2028 organizers say matches at the Olympic cricket tournament will be scheduled to start in the mornings to cater to lucrative television audiences in India. One of the major factors behind cricket's return to the Games after a 128-year hiatus is the desire of the International Olympic Committee to tap into a lucrative South Asian media rights and sponsorship market. The 6-team T20 tournament, featuring both men's and women's teams, will begin on July 12, 2 days before the opening ceremony, with all matches staged at a venue which will be constructed at the fairgrounds in Pomona. There will be 2 games played daily at Pomona, located 30 miles from the athletes' village in Los Angeles. Finally, in your morning sports, 10 teams will be vying for $150,000 in the Netball Jamaica Fast 5 Festival at the Stadium Courts on July 19 and 20. The festival serves as an all-star game for the Red Stripe Flavors Netball League, which is in the playoff stages. Chairman of the Elite League Committee, Dwayne Goodsmer, says or expects end-to-end action.
These are 10 mixed teams. So, yep, we have 2 males on every team, and that's just going to add to the excitement that is Fast 5. And so if you know anything about Fast 5, you know that it is also shorter quarters. It is power plays. It is super short. It is just excitement on top of excitement on top of excitement.
Dwayne Goodsmer wrapping up your morning sports.
Why rush around town for back-to-school shopping? Nationwide 90 FM is making it easy at our back-to-school fair. Come get your child measured for uniforms, check their shoe size, and purchase essentials right there on the spot. St. James, Hanover, Westmoreland, Trelawney, St. Elizabeth. We've got everything in one place just for you. That's Saturday, August 9, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. at Harmony Beach Park, Montego Bay. The Nationwide 90 FM Back-to-School Fair.
In business this morning, U.S. President Donald Trump has settled on another tariff deal, this time with Indonesia. Both Trump and Indonesian President Prabowo Subianto said the tariffs faced by the Southeast Asian country would be reduced from 32% to 19%. Trump said this was in exchange for full access for American firms. Prabowo wrote on Instagram that the deal marked a new era of mutual benefit with Washington. He told reporters in Jakarta on Wednesday that Trump was quite a tough negotiator. The pact is the latest to emerge after the White House unveiled a barrage of tariffs this spring, kicking off a flurry of trade talks over the duties. Now, U.S. inflation jumped last month as President Donald Trump's tariffs took hold, pushing up prices for items from clothing to coffee. The Labor Department said consumer prices rose 2.7% in the year to June, up from 2.4% the previous month, with the prices rising at the fastest pace since February. Higher energy and housing costs, such as rents, were the major drivers of the increase. But the data also suggested that consumers are starting to feel the impact of tariffs as some firms begin to pass along the costs of Trump's new taxes on imports. Coffee prices jumped to 2.2% from May to June, while prices for citrus fruits climbed at 2.3%. Toy prices rose 1.8%. Appliance prices increased to 1.9%, while clothing prices gained 0.4%, the first increase to hit the sector in months. But the overall increase remained contained and came in largely within expectations, offset by declines in prices for new and used cars, airfare, and hotel bookings. And in foreign exchange trading this morning, the Jamaican dollar has lost 17 cents and will open trading today, selling for an average $161.26 against the benchmark US dollar. The Jamaican has gained 17 cents and will open trading today, selling for an average $118.09 against the Canadian. And finally, the Jamaican has gained $4.41 and will begin trading for an average $214.73 against the British pound. That's it for business this morning.
Clear your barrels and personal shipments with ease and convenience. Request customs contactless clearance today through CCP at jca.gov.jm. The time by the Jamaica Customs Agency is
6:30.
Outperform, outlast, we top performance, Jackama, reliable, full stop, not comma. We have the expertise for drilling and demolition. We have the power tools for plumbers and electricians. Select tools, free parts and free repairs. 3 parts, free repairs. 2 to 3 years. Hilton, available at Delta Supply, 106 Hagley Park Road. Call us at 876-302-61114. Delta Supply, we service what we sell.
Start the school year healthy and ready. Bring the kids to the nationwide 90 FM Back to School Fair for vision and dental checks, blood pressure and blood sugar tests, and even immunization support. It's peace of mind for parents and a confident start for students. Join Team Revolution on Saturday, August 9 from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. at Harmony Beach Park, Montego Bay. Don't miss the nationwide 90 FM Back to School Fair.
can't be that close. Just let me state for the record, we're giving love in a family dose. We are family. Yeah. I got all my sisters with me. We are family. Get up, everybody, and sing. Sing it to me. We are family. I got all my sisters with me. We are family. Get up, everybody, and sing. Living life is fun, and we've just begun to get our share of this world's delight. I hope they have. I'm glad you're home. How did you really miss me? I guess you did by the look in your eyes. Really back and relax while I put away the dishes. You and me can rock her back. You can ring my bell. You can ring my bell. Ring my bell.
A very good morning to you. Good morning to you. You're tuned in to Nationwide This Morning NTM. Thank you so much for coming on over and joining us this Wednesday morning. It is Wednesday, July 16, 2025. Happy to have all of you joining us in the chat as usual. Good morning to our friends in Radioland joining us from the app and the website as usual as well. Good morning to you. I'm Tawna Thomas.
Good morning, Tawna. Good morning, listeners. My name is George.
Hey to you, George.
Well, go on.
I'm doing well.
Excellent.
How are you?
But good, man. I see some people in the chat saying, George, I go on like he can dance. You must be new because everybody knows that me can dance. And they want you to get up, Tawna, to dance, make them see.
Me?
You don't know you can dance.
Me?
Yeah.
But you have rhythm though, do you?
Yeah, man.
Okay.
If I gave the time to it, I would be able to.
Mm-hmm.
But I just find it ridiculous, them posing something. Them, no.
Well, yeah, I don't pay much
Is it
attention
the other kind
to
of
that.
dance, no? Oh, God.
Yeah.
Oh, God, boy.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
There are so many dance moves. I feel like every other day somebody on TikTok comes up with something else. So I've quit.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, I stick to the signal they're playing.
Yeah, the whining thing of my thing. And I can only do two dances. I can do world dance and I can do bogle.
World dance is which one again? I know bogle.
Dance again.
That's a...
Oh,
okay. Gotcha.
For some reason, I caught that one.
Yeah.
It was a summer and I did a lot of it. Remember with them? So I have that one down pat and I have the bogle down pat.
Yeah.
But the rest of them?
They come in rapids, I'm telling you.
Yes,
Every other day, somebody comes up with a new routine. I can't keep up.
I am not Ding Dong or Elephant Man. You understand?
But Elephant Man, that's the thing, Elephant Man's dance moves are pretty easy. Signal the plane. What's
You can do Shelly Belly?
Shelly Belly's. Yeah, you see, very easy to do. Very easy to do. The
You
other
can do
parachute is easy to do. Scooby-Doo is easy to do.
Wait. SpongeBob.
Yeah, very, very easy dance moves. But the things that they're doing now is pure gymnastics. Yeah. I won't take that on.
Ridiculous.
Yeah.
Listeners, this morning I've come to talk about what I believe to be a pillar of society that is important for society to work well, important for a democracy to work well, important for politicians to be kept in check, important for the conscience of the nation to always be an important thing in any conversation around any national activity or event. The media, I believe, in this country plays its role well. The media plays its role so well. I mean, you are a media playing your role well if you get accused from time to time of favoring one side or the other. We get that. And to the critics who always say, well, you favor one side and you don't favor you don't factor the other side in. I say, well, you name us the biggest scandal, not talking about something that someone says is a scandal, but something that is a scandal. It's a subject of intense public debate and discussion that either didn't originate here or is not reported on here. You tell me which one of those things we've not reported or participated in reporting, and I'll accept that we're biased. So you look to the long line of things and say, oh, they never report this and they never report that. This was in the news every day elsewhere. This was a big thing in the papers, on the talk shows. Nationwide never said a word. Or this happened to this minister that caused him to resign or to be reassigned. You never reported it. Nothing. So our record is good. So the media, I think, works well. Say what you want to say about it. But there's a group of people in this country who over time have given excellent service. Men and women who've been brave. Men and women who, despite their affiliations, friendships, professional associations, have called it as they saw it, because it was important for this balance to be established and maintained in the society. By them and them realizing the importance of that balance, they offered themselves as part of the conscience of the nation and said, wrong is wrong, right is right, recompense is needed, penitence is needed. This is the direction that things should go. It's no surprise, I'm sure, that I'm talking about civil society. And for the first time in my lifetime, certainly in my professional existence as a journalist, civil society in Jamaica is nowhere to be found. What you have are men and women, mannequins all, moving, dancing based on how the puppet master pulls their string, masquerading as the conscience of the nation when they're only here pushing a political agenda. Civil society is important and has been important in this society. They are not strictly civil society, but I go back to the role that Jamaicans for Justice played in helping to produce the Jamaica Constabulary Force that we're seeing now. Dr. Carolyn Gomes, who didn't leave JFJ under the best circumstances and deserved a better departure given what she did, but herself and her team, the advocacy against police excesses and abuses, they were human rights, first and foremost, but there was a large civil society element to what they did. And I could name several other organizations that have spoken out, that have advocated, that have sought to rap politicians on the knuckles, that have sought to rake them over the coals when they needed that kind of approach, to put them on the right path, to keep Jamaica at the center of what they did, for them to relax and relinquish partisan political considerations. What we have now are some people who their pen becomes active, their keyboard becomes active when one side does something that they believe is wrong. The thing about social media these days is that even back in the day when civil society was at its strongest, and there were some people who their moves were quite fishy, you said, wait, why is it when only that side does something you have a voice, but you are silent when the other side does something similar or does something that more people are saying is worse? You could get away before social media because you could, the avenues for criticism of you were limited, and you could choose to block out the criticism that you didn't want to hear. Now the social media exists, and we know social media is very tribal, but even among the tribalists are people who their records suggest that they favor no P. It's Jamaica that they're about. And they, with their trenchant criticism, call out a lot of you ask you how come. Put the hypocrisy on the table and say, well, do you have no shame? We're in a country where so many things have happened on the political hustings so far this election campaign. And so many more things will happen between now and when we go to the election. And I can say civil society exists in name only. It's a sham. What we have are men and women who, because you perhaps want a board appointment, there is some bureaucratic obstacle in the path of something you want to achieve, and you don't believe that this administration is partial to assisting you. And those who may want to come in will fly the gate for you, free you up. So you strategically and surgically attack the administration in office under the guise of being fair and balanced and being impartial. I'm saying this morning that the country loses when this part of the democracy mix is compromised. This country suffers when the keepers of the national conscience, certainly a colony that exists to do just that, because the media also plays a very important role. But when civil society becomes uncivil, when civil society makes no secret or makes no attempt to hide its bias and its partisan considerations, that is a time for the alarm bells to be rung. You heard Jermaine play Anita Ward's Ring My Bell just now? Yes. Quite pertinent song in the context of what I'm saying. And so I'm saying to you out there, those who may be retired from their field of endeavor, those who worked in government but are taking on a new challenge now, those who are in employment, whether in government or in the private sector, who look at the country and mean the country well, lend your voice to this mission called civil society. Jamaica needs you. The democracy needs you. Forget who is your friend in this party, that party. If they are to be criticized, do so responsibly, because we can't throw away people. The world is nothing without people. So we don't write off and condemn. We criticize and we scold and we move along. In the same way that back in the day when people used to beat Pitney. Pitney get beaten tonight. They love their parents in the morning. In the moment you say, boy, this and you wish this and you wish that, we all were there. But it's still your parent tomorrow morning. Your child does something bad and you reprimand the child, you scold the child, yeah, you discipline the child, still your child, still our friends. But the truth must be told to them. And the media alone can't do it, because there needs to be another colony supporting the work that the media does. So those of you who your pen only work, the computer only work, sometimes, we're saying to you this morning, I'm saying to you this morning, stay on the sidelines. We know that your motive isn't pure. And now I'm inviting new people to stand up and be counted. Form those new organizations. Form those new groups. Form those new affiliate entities. Step forward. Your country needs you, because those masquerading as civil society champions, not fooling anybody. And we know that it is partisanship that is motivating them. We know that they only mean the country well if certain people are in charge. And we can't have that. We need people who will call it as they see it, regardless of whose hand is on the wheel of power.
It's This Morning on Nationwide 90 FM. The time is
6:49.
JPS and Partners Cooperative Credit Union offers financial solutions for every stage in your life: savings, auto loans, mortgages, and more. The temperature by JPS and Partners Cooperative Credit Union, your financial partner for life, is
27 degrees Celsius in Kingston, 27 degrees Celsius in Montego Bay, 23 degrees Celsius in Mandeville.
Taxi drivers, ready to start earning more money? Join Amber On Time, Jamaica's taxi app built just for you. 0 commission in the first month, no catch. Plus get a free vehicle tracker to protect you and your ride. Stolen vehicle recovery and panic alarm response included. Download the Amber Captain app today and start driving. Or roll through to our office at 30 Westminster Road, Kingston and sign up on the spot. So whether you're at Kingston, Mobay, Ochi or anywhere else, work there. Come take advantage.
For all your electrical needs, visit ABC Electrical Sales. They stock a wide variety of electrical supplies including plugs, switches, panel boards and conduits, plus energy-saving fixtures. ABC Electrical Sales stocks brands like GE, Siemens, Philips, Cutler Hammer, and Allen Bradley. They also offer free island-wide delivery just to suit your needs. Visit them at Shop 8, Hagley Park Plaza, Kingston 10, or call 876-754-3714-5 or 876-754-3825-8. ABC Electrical Sales for a better choice in the electrical business. Time of a Street Smarts One with Ludlow McLean. Good morning, Ludlow.
Good morning, George. How are you doing, boss?
I am very well. Very well.
Tana.
Morning to you as well, Ludlow.
And all the listeners tuned in. Good morning to you all, motoring public, and all our visitors. Welcome, welcome, welcome. And the situation, though, on our roads, it's not too bad at this time. You know, most schools are out now. Well, totally. And then as a consequence, you find the roadways not too bad. Vehicles are moving. Those of you in that Kingston 6 Barbican area, you're going to find the movement is also good in the vicinity of Paddington Terrace, Ligonier Avenue, going around to Barbican Road. All those areas are moving freely at this time. However, when you get onto East Kings also, then onto Oak Road, it's good vehicular movement in both directions. If you're heading east, heading up to Ligonier or Papi inside, it's going to be good vehicular movement. Or if you're heading down, heading westbound into Alpha Tree, there are a number of vehicles, but there are no delays at this particular point in time. I'm sure as the morning progresses, you'll have more vehicular flow, in various other areas. So until about 7:18, it's back to you, the studios. And George.
Sir, yes, sir.
Have you been listening to the discussion on the cricket?
Listen, man. I more top myself in my own belly, because I said to myself, brethren, the man, they might give you so much pain, instead of waste time I listen to these people. You heard Red's Pereira this morning in the sports? That Turner Red?
I missed him.
Oh God, man. Pain in every language. Red Sema commented from 1971. I'm never shamed so yet.
He has never been so shamed.
1971, yeah?
The call for Clive Lloyd, Viv Richards and Lara, what do you think about that?
Listen, man, what are they going to change? Those three men can't change anything.
I don't know. Anyway, that's another discussion, all right?
Sure. Mash up my morning. And it was going so well. Have a good day, Lord. Look more. Word of the day up next.
Your word of the day is spelt, let's see, B-U-R-N-I-S-H, B-U-R-N-I-S-H.
Burnish. Burnish. Burnish.
Burnish is your word of the day. It's a verb and it means to polish a surface by friction. Some other definitions for burnish: to make smooth and bright. Burnish is your word of the day. Dictionary.com telling us that the word burnish was first recorded or originated between 1275 and 1325, between 1275 and 1375. To use the word burnish in a sentence, the burnish on her medal had begun to fade and Gonell had missed her story. Burnish is your word of the day. Another for you. A man who took advantage of any opportunity to burnish his image. Burnish, the definition again, to polish a surface by friction or to make smooth and bright.
Burnish your reputation.
Aha, there you go. There you go. B-U-R-N-I-S-H. Burnish is your word of the day. Up next, your features at the top of the hour, the news.
Canine parvovirus, CPV or parvo, is the most serious virus that dogs and puppies can get. Thankfully, it's preventable with proper vaccination, though it's still widely prevalent, especially in puppies and poorly vaccinated adolescent dogs. In Pets World today, we look at the causes, symptoms, and the treatment for canine parvovirus. Canine parvovirus is an infectious DNA virus that commonly causes severe illness in young and unvaccinated dogs. It primarily affects the body's rapidly dividing cells, meaning the intestinal tract and bone marrow are the most affected. Heart muscle cells of very young puppies can also be damaged by parvovirus. A veterinary expert at PetMed, Dr. Kathy Nelson, says parvovirus in dogs and puppies is spread by contact with contaminated feces.
The virus is spread through direct contact with an infected dog. Because the virus is also heavily concentrated in the fecal matter of infected dogs, canines that come into contact with an infected dog's stool may contract the disease. Certain dog breeds such as Rottweilers, Doberman Pinschers, Pit Bulls, Labrador Retrievers, German Shepherds, and English Springer Spaniels are particularly vulnerable to the disease.
The virus can live on surfaces that have been contaminated, including the ground, kennels, people's hands, objects, or even clothing. Dogs can also carry parvovirus on their fur or paws, or if they've encountered contaminated material. Parvovirus in dogs is a highly contagious disease that spreads quickly and efficiently. There's an incubation period in which the dog is infected with parvovirus but not yet showing symptoms. Dr. Nelson says a dog with parvovirus will usually start to show symptoms within 3 to 7 days of infection.
Symptoms of the intestinal form of the disease include severe bloody diarrhea, lethargy, anorexia, fever, vomiting, and severe weight loss. The virus also affects the dog's ability to absorb nutrients, so infected dogs will quickly become dehydrated and weak. Rapid heartbeat, abdominal pain or discomfort, and low body temperature are also symptoms of canine parvovirus infection.
Fortunately, with prompt and aggressive medical intervention and care, Dr. Nelson says most puppies will survive parvovirus.
There is no cure for the virus, but veterinarians can treat symptoms of the infection. Hospitalization is often required, and treatments may include intravenous fluid and nutrition therapy, medications to curb vomiting, and antibiotics and antiviral medications. The survival rate of dogs diagnosed with canine parvovirus is about 70% with veterinary intervention. Puppies are more susceptible to death due to their less developed immune systems. Vaccinations against parvovirus are readily available, and puppies should be vaccinated at least 6, 9, and 12 weeks. High-risk breeds may require a longer initial vaccination period of up to 22 weeks. Dogs should not be socialized with unvaccinated or unfamiliar dogs until at least 2 weeks after their final vaccinations.
Dr. Kathy Nelson, veterinary expert at PetMed. That's it for Pets World. Until next time.
Fearless and fair. Nationwide 90 FM.
Losing your sanity is as easy as 1, 2, 3. Believe me. I don't want you to be on edge, so I'm here to help you with your mental health. Let's talk mental health here on Lifestyle Pages. I'm Tana. Value who you are. Spend time getting to do things that you like. Boost your self-esteem and love yourself. You are wonderfully made. Take care of your body. Avoid cigarettes and the consumption of other dangerous substances in your body. Drink plenty of water, eat fresh fruits and vegetables. Exercise. This helps to minimize depression and improves your mood. Surround yourself with positive people. Quiet your mind through meditation, reading, listening to music, and of course, I suggest Enigma. You can find her on YouTube and learn to pray about your trouble. And when you do, have faith that it will be answered. Stop stressing.
Signing out from your lifestyle pages, I'm Tana.
News on the go. The latest stories from Jamaica and around the world are literally a finger tap away. Keep up to date with Teen Revolution 24 hours a day online via nationwideradiojm.com. Listen live, read the latest stories, hear every soundbite. Be a part of the vibrant online debate via Facebook and Twitter. Now you can get all your favorite premium nationwide content at your convenience. Visit the Android Play Store and download it for free today. NationwideRadioJM.com. All day, every day. Team Revolution.
Nationwide 90 FM, continuing the tradition of fair, fearless, and factual reporting.
Jamaica, let's make road safety a priority. Slow down, stay focused. Remember, every life matters. The time brought to you by the JIS is...
News time, 7 o'clock.
If you need to build it, plumb it, weld it, pave it, or power it, National Supply has it. Get the best brands for the job at Jamaica's Industrial Hardware Superstore. Kingston Normal Bay. The temperature by National Supply is...
27 degrees Celsius in Kingston, 27 degrees Celsius in Montego Bay, 23 degrees Celsius in Mandeville.
The most credible news in the morning. The news at 7 on Nationwide 90 FM.
Coming up in the news at 7 this morning, Wednesday, June 16, 2025, the police have seized $44 million in illicit cash in the 41 days since they launched crackdown on lottery scamming. JHTA says rising consumer confidence mirrors growth in the tourism industry and inflation falls below the minimum mark set by the Bank of Jamaica. In international news, police in Thailand arrest sex worker believed to have extorted almost $12 million from Buddhist monks.
News at 7 is brought to you by Hyundai. Modern, premium, affordable vehicles.
If it's news, it's got to be Nationwide 90 FM.
Now to the details. Prime Minister Dr. Andrew Holness says the fiscal crisis of the 1990s under the former PNP administration served to retard the progress of Jamaica's entrepreneurial class by decades. The Prime Minister sought to drive home the point while addressing business owners at the Micro, Small and Medium-Sized Enterprises Linkages Day put on by the Ministry of Industry, Investment and Commerce at UTEX Papine campus in St. Andrew on Tuesday. Mahiri Stewart tells us more.
It's called the FinSAC era in dubious honor of the government entity created to stabilize the country's fiscal system following its near collapse in the 1990s. The period was marked by high interest rates and high inflation that saddled the government with a public debt that exceeded 100% of the country's gross domestic product, GDP. That debt has only recently been paid off. Prime Minister Dr. Andrew Holness says the scars of this period run deep to this day.
We must be honest about the past. Jamaica's entrepreneurial landscape still bears the scars of one of the most painful chapters in our economic history. The financial sector meltdown of the 1990s and the FinSAC intervention. This was over 30 years ago. And I would venture to say that maybe 70% of this audience would maybe have knowledge but not fully understand and appreciate the profoundly devastating impact of that era on the Jamaican economy.
Beyond the fiscal and economic damage, Prime Minister Holness says the country's entrepreneurial spirit was also damaged.
FinSAC not only saddled the country with a mountain of debt that has taken us nearly 30 years to recover from, but it also broke the spirit of entrepreneurism in our country. Thousands of small and medium enterprises were wiped out overnight. Generations of family-owned businesses built on sacrifice and sweat were lost in a minute. Many business owners faced unbearable distress. Business owners even took their lives, and others lost everything they had worked for.
The Prime Minister says the government policies of the day contributed to this decline, while also cultivating a hostility towards profit-seeking ventures.
And so from that experience, why would anyone take the risk of starting a business when government paper was yielding returns of 30% and upwards per annum? The reward for innovation was drowned by the false comfort of high interest rates and financial speculation. But it wasn't only that. There was an unrelenting assault on people who were involved in business, where business people were viewed as exploiters, called capitalists. If you were trying to earn a profit, somehow it was a dirty word.
Dr. Holness says the return of entrepreneurial confidence has only now begun thanks to the work of his administration.
There are those who will believe I'm making a political point. Of course I am. But if you stop there, you would miss the importance of the point being made. And the point that is being made is that the Jamaican economy, the Jamaican society, cannot grow unless its entrepreneurial class grows. Unless we have people who are willing to mobilize capital, labor, technology, management, creativity, and put them together in an ecosystem to create value and to make a profit.
Mahiri Stewart for Nationwide News.
The president of the Jamaica Hotel and the Tourist Association, JHTA, Christopher Jarrett, is welcoming the increase in business and consumer confidence. Both consumer and business confidence improved slightly for the second quarter of 2025, ending in June.
We all know that tourism affects almost every sector. There's a trickle-down effect, and employment in our sector usually means goodwill elsewhere. So we contribute to 30% of the GDP. Would want to remind people of that. So the fact that we are, in my opinion, heading in the right direction. We're not where we would like to be, obviously, but I think we are heading in the right direction. Then talk as well for consumer confidence.
According to the latest survey conducted for the Jamaica Chamber of Commerce by the Don Anderson-led Market Research Services Limited, business confidence improved by 1.7 percentage points over the April to June period. Consumer confidence also improved over the period by 1.4 percentage points. Jarrett says further improvement should be seen in the coming quarters following the U.S. government's recent upgrade of its travel advisory for Jamaica.
There's been a reduction in the travel advisory, which is good for us. So we've gone from a level 3 to 2. So we'll find that the improvements will come in another few months. So we'll should see it in the next quarter. But what is happening now is still an effect of the people who would have already booked based on the previous advisory. So that's one plus. In addition, the cruise stopover arrivals had increased for the month of June by 1.5%, which is an indication of a potential turnaround in the flatness that we have seen in the early part of the year from February to May.
Christopher Jarrett, president of the JHTA. Meanwhile, president of the Jamaica Manufacturers and Exporters Association, JMEA, Sidney Thwaites, says while he welcomes the increase in consumer confidence, businesses continue to face challenges in the manufacturing sector.
I think it's great that confidence is up because I think a lot of what has a role in the economy, I think confidence is a big influencer on how our businesses act and when they invest and when they do the things that move the economy forward. I think it's always a positive thing. I do think there are some segments in manufacturing that are quite challenged, but I think the fact that tourism has been resilient and will draw in some of the agro products and some of the other products, and we're seeing a sustainability in there with a drop in the travel warning. There's some things that make sense that we would see that the business confidence increase.
Sidney Thwaites, president of the JMEA. And first vice president of the JCC, Emil Leiber, says the latest report on business and consumer confidence affirms that the country is heading in the right direction.
We are continuing to move in the right direction on a macro level. There is still work to be done. There's always work to be done. But I think we should take from this that things continue to move in the right direction, where the needle is moving forward in a positive way. And so, stay the course.
Emil Leiber, first Vice President of the Jamaica Chamber of Commerce. Both himself and Sidney Thwaites were guests on Nationwide at 5 on Tuesday. The Statistical Institute of Jamaica Statin says the country's point-to-point inflation rate fell to 3.8% as at the end of June. Point-to-point inflation is a method of measuring the rate of price increase for a specific period, most commonly the annual rate, by comparing the price level at a given point in time to the price level at the exact same point in the previous year. It's the first time since October 2021 that the country's inflation rate fell below the 4-6% target band set by the Bank of Jamaica. This was influenced mainly by the decline in prices for items and commodities in the divisions food and non-alcoholic beverages, housing, water, electricity, gas and other fuels, along with restaurant and accommodation services. More than 44 million Jamaican dollars have been seized by the Jamaica Constabulary Force through their anti-lottery scam campaign. The campaign, dubbed Scam Done, Justice a Run, was launched 41 days ago on June 5. Abigail Bartley reports.
The JCF Anti-Lottery Scam Unit says since June 5, 24 persons have been arrested for breaching the Law Reform Act. They include 20 men and 4 women. The force says an additional $55,000 have been seized along with cash in other currencies. The JCF's Anti-Lottery Scam Unit says since June 5, 24 persons have been arrested for breaching the Law Reform Act. They include 20 men and 4 women. The force says an additional $55,000 have been seized along with cash in other currencies. Some 20 high-end motor vehicles have also been seized, as well as 3 imitation firearms. More than 80 assorted rounds of ammunition and 15 pounds of cocaine were also confiscated. According to the JCF, the seizures were a result of 91 raids conducted by the unit. Those raids took place in St. James, Westmoreland, Trelawney, and Hanover. 5 persons were arrested in the most recent operation in Trelawney between July 10 and 12. 3 were subsequently charged. They are 19-year-old Jaquan Beckford, 60-year-old Maxine Walcott, and 27-year-old Christopher Cole. All 3 were charged with possession of identity information with intent and possession of an access device. Beckford, Walcott, and Cole were reportedly found with material containing the names and addresses of persons living overseas, as well as their credit card information. Abigail Bartley for Nationwide News.
Roads, infrastructure and water are the top issues facing voters in North Central Clarendon as they prepare to head to the polls in the next general election. That's according to a recent Blue Dot poll. The poll, which finds the incumbent Robert Morgan with a near 12-point lead over his PNP challenger, the PNP's Dr. O.J. Dixon, was conducted in June. It canvassed the views of 400 registered voters in the crucial Clarendon seat. The poll has a margin of error of plus or minus 5%. When asked what were the most important issues they believed their MP should focus on, 22.7% identified water access, while 22% pointed to roads and infrastructure. Nearly 12% of respondents highlighted jobs and employment as their key issues. Youth opportunities were the next big item, with 10% of respondents identifying them as their top issue. Morgan, who's the country's works minister, says he's working to fix the water and infrastructure problems faced by his constituents. North Central Clarendon is expected to be a key seat on election night. It forms part of the Northern Clarendon belt that the Labour Party is hoping to hold on to as it seeks a 3rd term in government. JLP Deputy Leader James Robertson says PNP President Mark Golding owes the people of Jamaica an apology for what he says is a series of disrespectful remarks and stunts. Robertson says Golding has yet to apologize for a 2023 gimmick in which he held a chain around the neck of a black man in his South St. Andrew constituency before symbolically unlocking the restraint and freeing him from bondage.
When he said dead people can vote, he owes Jamaica an apology. And he referred to his friends as tapanaris. He owes every one of us here tonight a big, big apology. When he went on a platform in Jamaica and held the chain around a black man, he owes all of us an apology.
Speaking Sunday at a gospel concert hosted by the JLP's Area Council 2 in St. Catherine, Robertson said the PNP president also owes the country an apology for referring to JLP chairman Robert Montague as a little boy.
Mark Golding is not fit to be Prime Minister of Jamaica. Everybody dance. He is condescending. He is disrespectful. He owes the Ombudsman an apology. He owes Bobby Montague an apology. When he called Labour rights damn fool, he owes us an apology. He owes Michelle Charles an apology when he had the nerve to call her classless.
James Robertson, JLP deputy leader, speaking in Old Harbour, St. Catherine on Sunday. The Minister of Industry, Investment and Commerce, Senator Albin Hill, says each of the winners of the ministry's micro, small and medium enterprises business roadshows are now exporting their products. Senator Hill was speaking on Cliff Hughes Online on Tuesday.
We had a number of them that have joined Export Max. All of the winners have become exporters. Not some, all. And you know, Cliff, for 2 years I've been pushing, whatever you do, you must export it. So we are so pleased that all the pitch winners decided to step up and become exporters. They have grown their businesses because the money that we give, even 200,000, they buy a little bit more equipment, they might rent a bigger space, they might hire 2 more people, and they've been growing and expanding. Every piece of that largesse that we would have given out, not as a loan, but as a grant, has been there to help expand those businesses, and we're very happy for that.
The 9th roadshow in the series, held by the ministry, happened at the University of Technology in St. Andrew on Wednesday. Business operators who attend the roadshows can win cash grants to improve their operations by participating in a business pitch competition. Senator Hill says the prize money for the winning MSMEs is also increasing.
We would give the eventual winner and runner-up big money, because when you're dealing with micro and small businesses, you can imagine even getting 200,000 one time in your hand is quite a fillip, because you get 10,000 or 20,000, and if you get $500,000 or 600,000 as a small business, it's big. We were going to give $1 million for the winner. The Prime Minister go up there and said, I asked him to double it. Our sponsors have stepped up with us. Yeah. It's a 1.5 million additional, because we changed the runner-up from 500,000 to $1 million. Now, those are substantial prices when you have a small business and you're struggling or you're fledgling. So we're going to make sure it happens.
Senator Albin Hill, Minister of Industry, Investment and Commerce. Police in Thailand have arrested a woman who allegedly had sexual relations with monks and then used photos and videos of the acts to extort money from them. At a press conference on Tuesday, the police say the woman, who they're calling Miss Golf, had sex with at least 9 monks. They believe she received around $12 million over the past 3 years. Investigators who searched her house found more than 80,000 photos and videos used to blackmail the monks. This scandal is the latest to rock Thailand's much revered Buddhist institution, which in recent years has been plagued by allegations of monks engaging in sexual offenses and drug trafficking. Police say the case first came to their attention in mid-June when they learned that an abbot in Bangkok had suddenly left the monkhood after being extorted by a woman. The police say Ms. Golf had a relationship with the monk in May 2024. She later claimed to have had his baby and demanded child support of more than 7 million baht. Authorities then discovered that other monks had similarly transferred money to Ms. Golf, which police called her modus operandi. That's the news.
News at 7 was brought to you by Hyundai. Modern, premium, affordable vehicles.
Sign up for the JN Money Card. It's safe, convenient, and free. The time by JN Money is
7:18.
Rent or buy your hurricane supplies from Total Tools. Visit 102 Main Street, Ocho Rios,
34 Slipe Road, Kingston 5, or Lot C6, Draxhall, St. Anne's Bay. The temperature brought to you by Total Tools Jamaica is
27 degrees Celsius in Kingston, 27 degrees Celsius in Montego Bay, 24 degrees Celsius in Mandeville.
I use the Radar app to help source my seeds and also my seedlings.
Me run my farm as a business, so I use the app for weather forecast and crop planning.
When we need an extension officer, we just book a visit on the app. Quick time she reach. We check pest alert every morning. Me now make her mash up my ground. Real farmers, real support, real easy. Crop Radar and Farm Smarter. Get the mobile app on Android and iOS.
Tell them cut the plastic. See our one country we have, and we have to preserve it for future generation. The government had to feed them part with phase 4 of the ban on single-use plastic. That mean me won't get me lunch in a plastic container, and me so gonna stop use certain cosmetic personal care items. Boy, big changes. But we want me picking them to enjoy this country, so me go all in a phase 4. Support the ban.
A message from the Ministry of Economic Growth and Job Creation.
Stay cool and save energy with the perfect ceiling fan for every room at prices you'll love. At Active Home Center, we've got fans to fit every space and every budget. From affordable options to premium designs with energy-efficient DC motors. Whether it's your bedroom, living room, or patio, there's a fan for every corner of your home. Hurry in for deep discounts on select fans while stocks last. Shop fans at Active Home Center in Kingston and Montego Bay. Active Home Center, more savings, more choices.
Time now for Street Smarts 2 with Ludlow McLean. Good morning, Ludlow.
Again, George, good morning to all our listeners, the motoring public. And it's still bright and sunny. Some clouds are above. Nothing to be worried about. No cumulus strata, no cumulus clouds. But some clouds are above. Nimbus and Cirrus, all of these clouds are above of these descriptions. And let me just tell you what's happening on the highway. Coming in from Portmore onto the Highway 95 or Municipal Boulevard and onto the Mandela Highway, it's pretty good movement. But when you get onto the Mandela Highway, you're going to find traffic, especially on the west-eastbound leg heading towards 6 Miles. If you're on the eastbound side, coming from 6 Miles, it's really free-flowing at the moment, no problems. Heading to Portmore or in various parts of St. Catherine, even going out to Spanish Town. But the bulk of the traffic really is on the Mandela Highway, heading towards 6 Miles. Although in the corporate area, there are gaps. You won't have much problem if even on the boulevard there is traffic, but there are gaps there and gaps further going towards Malines Road. But as I said, the major traffic right now is on that Mandela Highway, heading towards Kingston. So there you go. It's our second report for the morning. I urge you properly, lane properly. Be careful of the tailgating and all the road traffic acts. Please remember, the road traffic act is still in place as usual at Street Smart. Your safety is our concern. Over to you, George.
Thank you, Ludlow. Ludlow there with Street Smarts 2. Up next, front page. Front Page is brought to you today by ABC Electrical Sales, for a better choice in the electrical business. For all your electrical needs, visit ABC Electrical Sales. They stock a wide variety of electrical supplies, including plugs, switches, panel boards, and conduits, plus energy-saving fixtures. ABC Electrical Sales stocks brands like GE, Siemens, Philips, Cutler Hammer, and Allen Bradley. They also offer free island-wide delivery just to suit your needs. Visit them at Shop 8, Hagley Park Plaza, Kingston 10, or call 876-754-3714-5 or 876-754-3825-8. ABC Electrical Sales, for a better choice in the electrical business.
Welcome back to Nationwide this morning. You're now tuned into our discussion segment, The Front Page. On the front page this morning, we're focusing on business owners and the difficulties they're finding in relation to retaining workers. Now, local business leaders say they're facing an uphill battle retaining workers. They say more of their skilled staff is being lured by better paying jobs and opportunities both locally and internationally. The problem is worse for companies with branches outside of Kingston and Montego Bay, where skilled workers are harder to find. Shaloy Smikle reports.
Worker retention is increasingly a problem in the country. The loss of local talent is especially felt across the health and education sectors as teachers and healthcare workers migrate for better paying jobs. And despite many attempts to upskill and reskill Jamaicans to boost productivity, local businesses say they too are facing the same challenge. 3 local business leaders highlighted the concerns during a panel discussion on consumer and business confidence on Tuesday. CEO of Hardware and Lumber Limited, Sudu Ramani, says many skilled Jamaicans prefer working at call centers where the pay is more attractive.
The labor pool is not so much at the high end as the low end in retail, which is where the bulk of our staffing is. And at the retail level, the attrition rate is really high. When you have call centers and all these people sucking people in at salaries more than what we can afford, it's a constant push to try and retain talent at that level. And, customer experience suffers when you're not able to retain the right talent at the store level.
CEO of National Rums of Jamaica Limited, Martha Miller, says the problem is worse for companies with branches outside the major cities. She says finding skilled laborers to operate in rural parishes is a challenge.
For us, it is skilled tradesmen as well as skilled labor. Because if we look at, for example, a TIG welder, you can't keep one in-house. You train them, short order, they're going to, because they're so high, in such high demand. And at the other end, it is difficult to find engineers, it's difficult to find chemists, particularly when you're not in Kingston. The challenge that you face when you operate outside of Kingston or outside the city of Montego Bay is significant.
And the CEO of Kingston Wharves Limited, Mark Williams, says his company has had to resort to future-proof retention policies to keep trained workers.
What we do is to invest heavily in training. We work with the local institution, Caribbean Maritime University, HART, NTA. Okay. The challenge is to retain them. So we would ask the original equipment manufacturers, they would send their technical people to train them. Once they get certification, then they're off to Canada. So that's the issue. So again, it's for HR to ensure that we have a very robust retention policy.
Shaloy Smikle for Nationwide News.
Thank you so much, Shaloy. For more, we're being joined by Group Chairman and Chief Executive Officer of the Muslim Group, Paul B. Scott, and Chairman of the Wisynco Group, William Mahfood. Gentlemen, good morning to you.
Morning, Donna and PB and George. How are you?
Morning.
Paul?
Good morning, Donna and George. Good morning, dear listeners and viewers.
William, let's begin with you. What are the current circumstances in relation to the Wisynco Group and this matter of labor shortage?
So, we don't have a problem finding people. The problem, I think covered in the earlier report, is that there is a serious problem with retention. So, one of the things that we have found over the last couple of years, especially, and I would say, in the areas of the sort of less skill. Like we have people who do loading trucks and order pickers and so forth. Now, Wisynco has many, many benefits that a lot of other companies may not have. We have a pension scheme, which is mandatory for every employee. We have a full 100% covered medical scheme. Our salaries are, substantially better than minimum wage, etc. So when you put all of that in, you would think, okay, so this is a good place to work. But the problem is in that group of what I would call the younger, less skilled workforce, the retention levels are very, very low. And so we constantly have to be hiring people like forklift drivers and truck drivers and order pickers and warehouse delivery men, etc. in order to keep them trained and developed, and a pool of these people. And I think so that's on that end. Then on the very high end, which is highly skilled technical people, engineers, machine operators, etc. Those are actually the areas where it's very, very difficult to find. It's a limited pool. A lot of those have been lured overseas. People, the engineers, Jamaican engineers are working all over the world now in various capacities, and so we've lost a lot of that very, very highly skilled pool as well.
In terms of the lower skilled people at Wisynco, William, what are they telling you why they're leaving? Why are they leaving so quickly?
So I think there is always a sense of they want quick money. The time it takes to develop, a level of skills, like if you go from, say, an order picker to a forklift driver to a warehouse supervisor, a lot of them don't have the patience, especially a lot with the younger generation. They're not as sort of motivated to work hard and longer and have the tenacity to build that skill set to move to the next level. They want to go from A to Z. They don't want to go through the alphabet. You know what I mean? I think that's a challenge that we see in the younger workforce. I think that's generational and it's worldwide. I don't think it's just in Jamaica.
Is it that they are leaving Wisynco to go overseas, or they're heading into some other, work establishment here in country?
I think they're looking for opportunities that give them a faster movement, in terms of pay and maybe less, like physical work especially. It's hard to retain people. I mean, you can see it even, for example, in our involvement with Worthy Park. We have sugarcane cutters that are, the average age is probably in the high 50s to early 60s, because the younger people no longer want to cut sugarcane. I mean, these are skill sets that are physical, very, very hard working, and a lot of those people just no longer, in the younger group, they don't want that type of work.
William Mafood, chairman of the Wisynco Group, is talking to us about this matter of labor shortage and labor retention here in Jamaica. Going to take a break and come back with more, and also get in on the conversation, Paul B. Scott.
Give up every illegal gun. Call the police at 119 or Crime Stop at 311. The time by the Ministry of National Security is
7:31.
Experience the joy of buying a brand new Hyundai without breaking the bank. Yes, buying a brand new car should never leave you broke. From stylish designs and safety features to comfortable driving and reliability, Hyundai is the choice. Hyundai vehicles come standard with 2 years free service and 5 years warranty and roadside assistance for your peace of mind. Drive 2 years without service cost and 5 years without fear of being stranded. Hyundai. Conditions apply. Want to reduce your high electricity bills? Then Peak Energy has the solution for you. From grid-tied to hybrid solar inverters with full lithium-ion battery pack. Installation and maintenance packages available. Visit us at Shop 1, 3 Mosquito Valley Road, Red Hill, St. Andrew. Call 876-279-8820 or 944-0668. Or email us at peakenergysolutionsja@gmail.com. Peak Energy, for everything solar.
Need fast, reliable delivery? Speed Services has you covered. We offer air freight 2 times weekly and sea freight once a week. Perfect for getting your packages to Jamaica fast. Just visit speedshipja.com. That's speed with 3 E's. Need a bearer, food delivery, or local delivery for your business? Call or text 876-484-8850 and follow us on Instagram at speedshipja. That's speed with 3 E's. Speed Services, where speed meets service.
Back to school doesn't have to break the bank. Swap instead of shop. Join Nationwide 90 FM at our Back to School Fair on Saturday, August 9 from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. at Harmony Beach Park in the western city of Montego Bay. Bring those books your kids no longer need and swap them for ones they do. Plus, enjoy fun activities, entertainment, and meet your favorite Nationwide personalities. It's all happening in St. James on Saturday, August 9 from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. at Harmony Beach Park. See you there.
Getting ready for school is as easy as KB. Shop at Kingston Bookshop between July 14 to September 6, 2025 for your chance to win big in our back to school promotion. Spend just $5,000 before GCT, shop online or in store, and you could win $150,000 in cash, an HP laptop, or a Samsung Galaxy Tab A9. It's back to school the easy way, only at KB. Authorized under Section 58.3 of the Betting, Gaming and Lotteries Act.
Welcome back to Nationwide this morning, talking about labour market challenges with the chairman of the Wisynco Group, William Mahfood. So, William, you've spoken about the situation at the top and the bottom of the ladder, so to speak, where your employees are concerned, those with entry-level skills and those with the advanced skills. How are you in the middle?
So, to be honest, George, I think generally our staff turnover at Wisynco is fairly low. And I think you have to look at it from an industry perspective. I heard in one of the comments from the panel yesterday, people talking about a lot of people looking at the call center operations because of the higher salaries that they pay. But the reality is, in order to retain talent at that level, clerical staff, administrative staff, we do a pretty good job. And so our overall staff turnover as a company runs somewhere around 14 or 15% per annum, which is, it's high for the type of business.
Yeah, I was going to say it's high because anything over 12% should set off some amount of, well, not alarm bells, but cause concern.
So if you then take another business that we're involved in, which is Domino's Pizza and the restaurant QSR business, the staff turnover there is upwards of 100% per annum.
Yeah.
So that's pretty normal in that type of business and industry. I mean, if you ask anybody in that space, that's what they're facing, and I don't think you can even comprehend, or even your listeners can comprehend what that entails in terms of staff training and service levels. I think one of the other panelists mentioned service levels to retail customers. I mean, it's actually quite a headache. Because you as quickly as you train people to operate in those environments, they're gone. And you have to start the process all over again. So so last week they had the CARICOM heads meetings in Montego Bay. And the private sector organization of Jamaica, along with the CPSO, met in a small function with a number of the heads, including the Prime Minister, who's the chairman of CARICOM. And we raised the issue. At a very, very high level, CARICOM and the integration was supposed to allow complete freedom of movement of people. And I asked the question just before the Prime Minister had to leave for their meetings about why don't we open up to Haiti? Because right there you have a terribly distressed workforce. Many of them would jump at the opportunity to come to Jamaica, and especially for skilled workers, because many of them are challenged in whatever environment they used to work in, and the social environment, the security, etc. And if we could put in a process where we say, okay, let's open up to some of the skilled workers within, and I know the Prime Minister very seriously is focused on. As chairman, on getting us into an integrated CARICOM. I mean, he gave commitments to that effect in the press conference. I think the solution is at a regional level. Locally, I think it's going to take a lot of effort to retain people in Jamaica. Just because if you look at, I mean, I know the statistics are out there. I think it's 80% of college graduates in Jamaica migrate. How do you, with that type of brain drain taking place on the human capital in Jamaica, how do we grow and become competitive globally with losing all of that skill?
Before you go there, George, I wanted to hear from William. What was the feedback that you got in relation to that idea of opening up to Haiti?
I think it solves a number of problems. The CARICOM head spoke about helping Haiti in whatever way possible. So one is, if we take some pressure off of the skilled workforce that exists in Haiti, who now probably many of them are out of work, bring some of them to the CARICOM, not only in Jamaica, but throughout the region, engineers, machine operators, skilled workforce that we have been losing to overseas, Canada, the United States, Europe, etc. Bring some of them here and to Trinidad and Guyana or whatever, and have them work in factories and work in the various industries that we need these workers. I think the heads were responsive. I think the Prime Minister was responsive. It's to work out the mechanics of it, right? It's not like you couldn't say tomorrow morning, let's completely open up our borders to Haiti, because you'd have a mass influx and we would probably not be able. The social, all of the regulatory issues, the health services, education, etc., would not be able to handle the volume of people. But if you did it in a way that allowed for controlled migration, I think it would help us a lot. It would help Haiti as well.
Yeah, that's where I was going in. Well, here, let me move it further along then, because whenever this argument comes up about importing to fill gaps, there is a large colony, William Mahfoud, that says, why are the private sector leaders speaking this way when there are so many engineers who are out of work, so many people in this area, so many forklift operators who are unemployed? Why are we not employing these people? Why are we going overseas to solve a problem that we can fix with our own people? You are in the area of business. You know this thing. What is the truth? Are there these people outside who you're not hiring, and why?
No, there are people out there who are employable, and there are also those out there who are maybe not so employable. At the end of the day, forklift drivers, I give you just that as an example. We have to be training internally all of our order pickers to become forklift drivers, because there's not enough of a pool of forklift drivers that exists in the general market to be able to hire to work in the environment like our environment. I mean, then remember, you also have forklift drivers on the port. You have forklift drivers in every major warehouse across Jamaica. I mean, in our business alone, we probably have over 150 forklift drivers, or close to 150. And they have to be trained in so many different areas of security and areas of mitigating risk and all of these things, safety. I mean, so it's not only about how to drive the forklift, but it's all of the other things that they need to be trained and developed to do.
Yeah, and you made a point about age profile earlier, William, and I wanted to go there because when I worked with the Tanners Group, Barclay Watts group of companies that has PowerTrack, ICC Tanners, right? I'm just recalling now, all of the forklift operators I knew were old men. This wasn't an area that at the time in the early 2000s that men mid-20s were going into. The forklift drivers I know, Butty and Bogart, these men were old men who had been in it for a long time. So are young men being attracted to this area, or that's the case where the allure for other things is stronger than to drive a forklift?
No, so this is where we are now. That, in the old days when we only had a half a dozen forklift drivers when I was a young man in the business, they were older men, and they had typically been in a role. They were honed in their craft because they'd been in that role for decades. What has happened is when you move, as you grow, and you need more of forklift drivers, and those fellows retire, and you have to now be training and developing younger people. The average age of our forklift drivers today, I would say, is probably less than 30. So you have much younger men with much less skill, much less experience you've got to train them, continuously train and develop them. And I mean, it's a process.
Yeah.
It takes time. It takes money. And especially, when you have that many needs. So I'm not saying it can't be done, and I'm not saying we can't train enough people, but the institutions in Jamaica don't train areas like forklift drivers.
And they don't train them fast enough anyway.
No,
you said so on the point of fast. I was just sharing yesterday with the team at the production meeting, William, an experience about a company that I will not name, but it's a huge company. And I spoke to an employee recently, saw me going in and pulled me aside to have a word to say that she was frustrated because she could not get a weekly schedule. So she'd be told today when going home that, you have to come in 6 o'clock tomorrow. And then tomorrow when she comes in and she finished the 6 to 2 shift or 6 to 3, while she's packing up to leave, you have to come in 10 o'clock in the morning. And this was day after day after day after day. So she could not plan her life, could not organize her children. You just didn't know what duty you'd be given tomorrow. And the meeting asked, so why is that? And I said, well, clearly there's a shortage of workers because they come and go so fast. So the person doing the scheduling can't have a weekly set schedule because he or she does not know how many employees he or she may have to deploy. How big of a problem is this? And is this a deterrent for young people who are coming into areas like that, who say, you know what, I'm going to find a steady 9 to 5 because I can't deal with this constant flux?
Yeah, no, I mean, we are 24 hours, 7 days a week. No, I mean, we do have very, very tight scheduling and shift systems. So an employee would know if they're on shift A, B, or C. In production, we have 4 shifts, so it would be shift 1, 2, 3, and 4. And what happens is those employees know that they're going to be working the graveyard shift. And those are the areas. The graveyard shift is 10 at night till 6 in the morning. And that's the area where you have the highest number of no-shows for work because just people don't. So we have to pay premiums for that. But it's always fixed. So that what you're referring to is probably she's probably more of an administrative or managerial person, and they need her on site rather than a general employee. I'm not sure, but I would assume. And because of her skill set, they probably just don't have a broad or deep enough, bench, as you would say, like in sports. They don't have a deep enough bench to be able to place employees on fixed shifts, which speaks to the whole issue of the total workforce capacity. Now, listen, I am the first person to tell you, we in our entire organization, I don't think we have 5 people who are expats working in the whole group.
Stick up in on the expats, William. We have to take a break and come right back, pay a couple of bills. This is Nationwide this morning. We're talking about the labor market situation. It's serious, with the chairman of the Wisynco Group, William Mahfood.
Chuck fried chicken always ready. Burn Chuck, original crispy. Burn Chuck, Cajun spicy. Burn Chuck, a barbecue. Burn Chuck, we are go a Burn Chuck.
The time brought to you by Burchak Fried Chicken in Kingston, Montego Bay, and Ocho Rios is
7:47.
At Hawkeye, our mission is to deliver cutting-edge security solutions to help you keep track of the things you value most.
The temperature by Hawkeye is
28 degrees Celsius in Kingston, 29 degrees Celsius in Montego Bay, 24 degrees Celsius in Mandeville.
Looking for superior quality transportation from an international award-winning provider? Well, look no further. Choose Island Car Rentals, Jamaica's leading car rental company, setting the standard for ground transportation in Jamaica. For over 50 years, Island Car Rentals has been your trusted partner for reliable, top-quality vehicles. But we're more than just a car rental company. Need an airport transfer at any hour? Heading out of town and want to travel in style with a private chauffeur? Need a truck to rent for business or personal use? Or maybe you need a customized shuttle or tour for a large or a small group? Whatever your transportation need, Island Car Rentals has you covered. Call us today at 876-926-8012 or 876-929-5875 or visit www.islandcarrentals.com to book your next trip. because island people take better care of you. For all your electrical needs, visit ABC Electrical Sales. They stock a wide variety of electrical supplies including plugs, switches, panel boards and conduits, plus energy-saving fixtures. ABC Electrical Sales stocks brands like GE, Siemens, Philips, Cutler Hammer and Allen Bradley. They also offer free island-wide delivery just to suit your needs. Visit them at Shop 8, Hagley Park Plaza, Kingston 10 or call 876-754-3714-5 or 876-754-3825-8. ABC Electrical Sales for a better choice in the electrical business.
You know what's sweet? The new pack Sweet Living promotion. Win great prizes. Living room set or bedroom set or kitchen appliance set. Plus 2 consolation prizes of AC units. Send in 5 new pack labels or receipts. Labels must belong to at least the new pack canned beans or peas, new pack ketchup, and new pack oil categories. Fill out the tagline. New pack, more than just value. Place your entry in one of the drop boxes at participating outlets. Enter by mail or online at newpackjamaica.com. Time to live sweet. Enter the new pack Sweet Living promotion. July 13th to September 6th. See the press for more details. Authorized under Section 58.3 of the Betting, Gaming and Lotteries Act.
Years ago, I attended a labor market conference at Terra Nova Hotel, and the ILO's representative in Jamaica said that labor market challenges will be one of the biggest things to affect the Jamaican economy not too long from now. That was maybe in the mid to late 2000s, if you may, and she's being proven right at this moment. William Afu, the chairman of the Wysinga Group, is speaking to us. William, I had a line of questioning to put to you, but before we go there,
your comment is spot on, and I've said this publicly, and I've said this, around the veranda, talking to friends and associates. I am the most optimistic person about the future of our economy. You can speak to anybody. I hear people talking about that this is some of the hardest times we've ever seen. We just witnessed a small blip in the road to recovery that Jamaica has been on, right? Where if people need to put back on their memory cap and go back to 2010 and 2009 and 2012 and remember where we're coming from. And the reality is the biggest single impediment to us growing and remaining competitive for the future is going to be the labor market. Because at the end of the day, we cannot be competitive globally and we cannot be competitive even regionally without the people to do it. Now, we can't train enough people fast enough to, I saw yesterday somebody sent me the plans for the new Moon Palace in Montego Bay, a 1,000-room hotel. They're going to need 6,000 trained employees to work in that hotel. Where are they going to come from? Unless we upskill the workforce in the fastest possible time, which is going to take years, not 3-5 years, decades. So what we have to do in the meanwhile is we need to ensure that we have people to fill those roles to remain on the competitive edge of the services that we're offering.
It's frightening. Let me ask you this. I see a lot of our listeners saying to us, George, it's an issue of pay. I put that to you.
Yes, 100%. And you have to take off your hat to this administration to have moved the minimum wage over the last few years. I mean, remember, you go back 5 years ago, the GDP per capita in Jamaica was $5,000 US. We're up to 7,000. So we've moved our GDP by 40%. Mm-hmm. Our minimum wage went from 9,000 to now 16,000. At the end of the day, it's not enough. And I agree 100%. But at the same time, we also need to realize and appreciate that we're competing against markets where, in the Philippines and Singapore, they're paying people $100 US a week. And that's approximately where we are now. Now, we need to move those salaries up. We need to upskill the workers so that we don't have everybody working at that level. But until we get there, what's going to fill the gap for the workforce to do the mundane tasks that we need to do? Similar to the United States, the immigrants that are there doing their farm work. I was on a flight about 2 weeks ago from Miami to Seattle, Washington. on a 250 passenger flight, 200 of them were Jamaicans. And I started talking to some of the guys.
Going to Seattle?
To Seattle, Washington. They were going to pick apples.
Oh.
And when they left the apple farms, they were going to the cherry farms. What would America do if they didn't have those people to work on those farms? So America does it. They bring in workers to do some of the tasks that their own people don't want. They don't want those jobs. They bring Mexicans, they bring Jamaicans. Nothing is wrong with importing labor, but until you can upskill the rest of the workforce to get, to the point where 80% of our college graduates don't migrate because there's opportunity for them here. That opportunity will only come with economic growth and development.
Yes. What's your verdict on the quality and rate at which our National Training Institute provides, I don't want to call people material, but let me call it that, material for the labor market?
It's not enough, and it's not the capacity is not enough, and the speed at which they turn people out is not enough. Neither is HART. There are not many institutions. We need more, trades. We need trade training facilities in Jamaica to develop. I mean, a simple thing like an electrician. Most of the electricians that you have around the place today are not even properly trained. They've been apprenticed to an electrician maybe for 5-10 years, and they've gone out and honed their own skill. I mean, these are things that we need to be able to pull on quickly in all different areas of society and for the development. We have construction projects coming. And what do you see happening on the construction? The major construction projects in Jamaica today, most of them are Chinese.
Yes.
And there's nothing wrong with it,
Yes.
Because at the end of the day, we don't have enough laborers to work on those construction projects. Would you hold back the country and say no more Chinese working on construction projects?
Can't do that.
Building roads, building high-rise hotels, etc. Because if you did that, then how do you grow?
Yeah. They train engineers at UWI St. Augustine, and of course, they've trained engineers to world-class standards at the University of Technology. Those two institutions, are we getting the numbers out? The quality is not in question. Are we getting the numbers, getting them fast enough to put into the labor market?
The problem is they migrate because of better opportunity. That's the biggest problem. And until we have the economy lifted, so when our GDP gets to 15 or 18,000 US per cap in Jamaica, what happens then is that now you have an economy which is really booming, and you have, economic growth which is not, meager 2% or 1.5% or 3%. If you have 6, 8, 10% economic growth per annum, you lift the entire economy, and then you have opportunities for engineers at much higher levels. Because all of a sudden there's big investment coming in, foreign direct investment, local investors putting up more factories, more opportunities in agriculture and tourism. That is how the overall labor market grows to the point where we have the skill set staying in Jamaica.
The expansion plans that companies like yours have had over the past 3 to 5 years, certainly you can speak for yourself. Have you had to curtail, modify those expansion plans because you just don't have the manpower in key areas?
No. We expand and then go and search for the manpower, and we pay whatever we have to in order to find the people, the operators, the engineers. Just recently, we're doing a huge investment in wastewater treatment because of our increased capacity. And we could not find a wastewater engineer anywhere in the region, so we had to go overseas for that person. It's a specific skill set that we couldn't find in Jamaica. But the point is that when I spoke to the minister personally about it, I said to him, we intend to train somebody, have this person shadowed by a Jamaican, and develop somebody to run this operation within 2 years. That's our intention. That's how we operate.
Is it something that Wisynco does in relation to other areas as well, meaning that you collaborate with the tertiary institutions ahead of time to find those persons who are studying in particular areas and have them training from then, so by the time that they graduate, you can have them come to your company?
We have a number of scholarship programs. As a matter of fact, we launched last year for the first time an engineering scholarship program. It was for my father, in honor of my father. We gave 4 engineering scholarships last year, and from that pool, we identified, skill sets and engineers that we would want to hire when they finish university. So we're now actively doing that, going out, and we have various programs where we target just before graduation some of the top people in the university. And we have LEAD, or I forget what the acronym stands for, but it's basically for taking some of the top people out of university, and we put them through rigorous training throughout various skill sets in the organization, and then hopefully, they stay with us and we put them into roles.
I know hopefully. Mm-hmm. Would you say that for the first time in that segment of your career where you're in charge of this business now, William, that it is truly a worker's market, meaning the worker is the one in charge? It's labor chasing skills rather than skills chasing labor.
Yeah, 100%. The biggest hurdle we face, and we can't stop people from wanting to migrate for better opportunity, right? But that is the biggest hurdle we face as a country. What we have to do is we have to create the environment here which is attractive for the labor to stay. Remember, it's not just about pay and salary.
Yeah.
And people need to stop thinking that it's only about salary. It's also about security. It's also about health services. It's about education for your children. If you feel confident that all of those things, plus your salary and your pay and your remuneration and opportunities are there, why would you migrate? I mean, let's be real. If all of those things are improving quality of life, and the quality of life includes, the conditions for security, education, and health. If all of those things are improving and you're getting a decent salary, why would you migrate? Mm-hmm. There's no reason.
Yeah, hear you on that. So, we've exhausted the time. Thank you very much for your time this morning, for spending it with us. All the best.
All right, take care.
William Mahfood, chairman of the Wisynco Group. Front Page was brought to you today by ABC Electrical Sales, for a better choice in the electrical business.
You're listening to Nationwide 90 FM. The time is
8:01.
Success, powered by learning. The temperature, brought to you by Sandals Corporate University. Come grow with us is
29 degrees Celsius in Kingston, 29 degrees Celsius in Montego Bay, 24 degrees Celsius in Mandeville.
From the mountainside to seaside, countryside to townside, inside and outside, it's across Jamaica this morning.
Across Jamaica this Wednesday morning, the 48-hour curfews that were imposed in sections of Richmond and Enfield and St. Mary have been extended. In Richmond, the current curfew will come to an end at 6 p.m. this evening. It covers Richmond Town, Zion Hill, Essex, Flint River, and the Beecham Hill community. And the curfew in the Enfield community in Onoto Bay, St. Mary, has been extended until 6 p.m. Thursday, July 17. The affected areas are the Ita Burrell Main Road, Dry River Bridge, and a section of the Enfield community known as 41. The Firearm and Narcotics Investigation Division, FNID, seized over 1,000 pounds of ganja in an operation in Rio Nuevo, St. Mary on Saturday, July 12. Reports from the Port Maria Police are that about 10 p.m., lawmen on an intelligence-led operation in Rio Nuevo found a Nissan Caravan motorcar. The vehicle was searched. 37 bags of compressed ganja weighing 1,200 pounds were discovered. Additionally, 4 large barrels of gasoline were also found and seized. No one was arrested in relation to the seizure. Detectives assigned to the Manchester Proactive Investigations Unit have arrested a man following the interception of a motor vehicle on the Kingsland Main Road, Spurtree in the parish on Thursday, July 10. Reports are that the Crown motor vehicle was stopped by a mobile patrol team at about 9:30 a.m. after it was observed operating carelessly and recklessly closely following a police convoy. A search of the vehicle was conducted and several electronic lead sheets containing the personal information of individuals residing overseas were reportedly found. While being interrogated, the driver confessed to purchasing the motor vehicle using proceeds obtained from his involvement in lottery scamming. The accused later attempted to bribe the police with 100,000 Jamaican dollars. The driver is facing charges of possession of identity information, possession of identity information of another person with the intent to commit fraud, engaging in a transaction involving criminal property, conspiracy to defraud, possession of criminal property, and attempting to corrupt a public official or bribery. His identity is being withheld pending further investigations. And that's it for Across Jamaica for this Wednesday morning.
You have to win, then just bet. Bet on the game, no stress, no sweat. And win big in the wanna bet, just bet promotion. Spend $1,500 or more on one just bet ticket and complete the entry form at promotions.supremegames.com for your chance to win. Third place gets Beats by Dre. Second place gets an iPhone 15 and AirPods Pro. And first place gets a 65-inch TV and a soundbar. Promotion runs May 16 to July 20, 2025. Grand draw July 25, 2025. Authorized under Section 58 of the Betting, Gaming and Lotteries Act.
This July, the world turns to Jamaica
for the Caribbean Investment Forum, the region's premier investment event.
From July 29 to 31, the Montego Bay Convention Center comes alive
with global thought leaders, exclusive investment opportunities, high-impact deal-making sessions.
Are you ready to invest in the Caribbean's future? Book now at CaribbeanInvestmentForum.com.
Let's shape a smart, green, connected Caribbean. July 29 to 31, Montego Bay. Powered by Caribbean Export, Government of Jamaica, Jampro, EU, CARICOM, Republic Bank, and IDB.
Now, PrEP makes it so easy. One pill before you link, prevent HIV.
PrEP makes it so easy. One pill before you link, prevent HIV.
You want to do your thing with your queen or your king.
Or I get a little frisky that make you flex frisky.
PrEP, are you extra bucketed?
To help you stay HIV negative.
PrEP makes it so easy. One pill before you link, prevent HIV.
PrEP tablets available at your clinic from the Ministry of Health and Wellness.
On Wednesday, July 16, tune in to Cliff Hughes Online from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. as we broadcast live from the Portmore Bus Depot for the official handover of 93 brand new buses to the JUTC. This event marks a major leap in public transport, boosting safety, comfort, and connectivity. Hear from commuters, youth, and local leaders as we celebrate progress and modernization. Don't miss Cliff Hughes Online at the Portmore Bus Depot, July 16, from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. Witness the handover of 93 brand new buses to the JUTC. Catch the live stream on our YouTube channel at Nationwide 90 FM Live 2. All this and more only on Nationwide 90 FM, the new revolution in media. This broadcast is brought to you by the Ministry of Science, Energy, Telecommunications and Transport.
Welcome back to Nationwide this morning. Turning our attention now to matters having to do with the Sandy Gully. Several residents of Western St. Andrew gathered at the Sandy Gully Bridge on Spanish Town Road on Monday to protest against environmental issues concerning the gully, which they say are affecting them. Residents from Waterhouse, Seaview Gardens, and Riverton Meadows used the placards to help register their discontent with the poor condition of the gully. They were supported by Member of Parliament Anthony Hilton. Hilton says efforts to get the government to attend to the conditions in the Sandy Gully have proven futile. The Western St. Andrew MP says that the money received in his Constituency Development Fund, CDF, is not enough to address problems in the gully. Meanwhile, Works Minister Robert Morgan says a comprehensive rehabilitation project will soon get off the ground to correct decades of neglect in the Sandy Gully. The water channel is, of course, the most important defense against flooding in the corporate area. The Works Minister, Robert Morgan, joins us now. Good morning to you.
Good morning, Tana. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Thank you so much for joining us here on Nationwide this morning. Is this true, Minister, the Member of Parliament for that area, saying that efforts to get the government to attend to the conditions in the Sandy Gully have proven futile?
Absolutely, unequivocally not true. And it is very, embarrassing to the Member of Parliament that he would so blatantly try to mislead the country. The Member of Parliament sat in Parliament in front of me in June when I outlined what the plans are for the Sandy Gully, and he asked questions, right? He sat in front of the Prime Minister in March when the Prime Minister in his budget presentation outlined the plans for the Sandy Gully. He's a Member of Parliament. He understands how Parliament works. He understands how the procurement system works. He knows that every single hurricane season, we have spent a lot of money to try to ensure that though the Sandy Gully needs repairs, that it doesn't become a disaster and that the bridges are not destroyed by the waters that come down. He knows this. Last year, he and I had long conversations when we were trying to do some work. We even had conversations about the gunmen who were intimidating the contractors there. So he knows what is happening or what is to happen on the Sandy Gully. He wants us to take an approach that I don't have the power to take. He wants me to declare Sandy Gully an emergency. The minister or any minister does not have the power to declare anything a national emergency. That is the role in this case of the head of the National Works Agency. The section in question that he was complaining about is a section that we are in the process of trying to repair. But we can't just get up and spend $100 million on something. While we understand the risk and we understand the damage to the gully, we have to follow the rules, because at the end of the day, though we may wish to do what we want to do immediately, the accountability entities in the country do not care whether or not we thought it was urgent. They care about whether the process was done properly. And I, as a minister, I'm not going to put myself or, because of my actions, place the government in a position where people can accuse us of being corrupt or unaccountable. We have to follow the rules. We have to follow the approach. The NWA has been instructed to examine what can be done. We are going to put out something to deal with that emergency section. The CEO will have to determine, as it is his power within the Procurement Act, whether it can be construed as an emergency, because what is our definition as layman of what an emergency is not the same definition in the Procurement Act.
The problem area that you're speaking of that is going to get this immediate repair, what exactly is wrong with that section of the gully? So
the section has seen degradation of the walls and the base. Essentially, we have several issues on the Sandy Gully. Issue number one is that persons have built houses on the gully banks, which causes compromise to the walls. Issue number two is that the Sandy Gully is as old as Jamaica itself. So with all concrete infrastructure over time, it degrades, which is why we're now carrying out a comprehensive study so that we can go to PIMSEC, or the Public Investment Accountability Branch, to get approval to do a multi-billion-dollar rehabilitation of the Sandy Gully and its tributaries, as well as the North Gully. So there's a big plan to fix the Sandy Gully, and it's going to cost us a lot of money as a country. And the government has set aside that money for it to be done. But in the interim, what we do from time to time is where we see issues like this emerging, we try to, as quickly as possible, fix them. This is an issue that there are several sections of the gully that are compromised.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's not all of them are compromised to the same extent. But when we see one where it is becoming a serious problem, we try to rush quickly to fix it. But I think that the long-term solution is the comprehensive rehabilitation of the gully and its tributaries, which is something that we're going through the process to get done now.
You did mention that is it a study, an assessment, and how far along are we now?
The PIAB process is very involved. So, for example, you remember the big conversation about Troy Bridge?
Mm-hmm.
So every capital project in Jamaica has to go to the PIB processes. It's a tiered process which has different components. One, you can't spend capital money or money from the capital budget on a project without doing the studies. So you have to do the geotechnical studies, you have to do social surveys, and a whole myriad. I think it would be a good thing one day, turn off a year team to actually do an examination of this process, because a lot of persons in Jamaica don't understand the involved. Like, it took us 2 years to get Troy Bridge done because we had to do studies, and people say, but it's a bridge and it's essential. We have created, both governments and civil society has been a big part of it, an accountability mechanism in this country to protect taxpayers' money. We can argue whether it is as efficient as it should be, but it is what we created, and we have to live with what we created until we change it. So we are at the study stage where we're doing the geotechnical analysis, looking at what are technical issues, what are the engineering issues, also the social issues. For example, how are we going to deal with the persons who live on the gully bank,
mm-hmm.
who contribute to the compromising of the gully? How are we going to deal with the silting? Part of the problem we have with the Sandy Gully is, especially closer to the sea, there are billions and billions of dollars worth of work to be done to remove silt. We have engaged publicly, we have sent out public tenders saying, listen, if you want the silt, come and take it for free, because it's very expensive to remove. And a lot of persons have said, no, we're not interested, we don't want the silt. Because for us to remove the silt, it will require a lot of money to remove the silt, because it's hundreds of trucks of silt that needs to be removed. At the time, we didn't have the resources to do it. Now that we're going through the PIA process, that is something that we're going to have to contemplate in that process as to, so yes, you're going to fix the walls, you're going to fix the base, you're going to have to look at the social conditions that exist on the side of the gully and what, if anything, can be done, because these communities, many of them, have been there for 10, 20, 30, 40 years. You can't just uproot people and say, well, you're on the gully bank, so you need to move. You cannot do that because there are human rights issues. The government is not a cruel government to do that. So we have to contemplate, how do we deal with that? We also have to contemplate what other social situations exist. There are persons who depend on the gully for a livelihood, as bad as it may sound. People who remove scrap metal, people who do all of these things. When you clean the gully, what do you do with those people? They still need to find a way to earn a living. Many of them are close to the poverty line. Mm-hmm. And all of these things are things that you have to contemplate when you're going to do a massive project like this. People may say, but the people are not supposed to take the things from in the gully. That is correct. We wish that people would not be in the gullies finding scrap metal and so on. But the reality is that, just like Riverton, the reality of our country is that people from these things, the recyclers, as I call them. So you have to think of part of it. But where we are now is the studies. Then we're supposed to submit our study. We've hired a consultant. We're supposed to submit the studies by August of this year. Once we submit the study, then PIAB will look at it, and they will the PIMSEC, which is under the PIAB, will look at it and then say to us, okay, well, you need to go back and do this, you need to go back and do this, and then within probably another, by December, you should have some approval so that we can do a tender and start work by the latest February of next year.
I see one of our YouTubers, Mr. Morgan, saying that the silt is a big problem. It is enough to fill the stadium and grow trees.
Exactly, and that's the issue. So you remember, the Sandy Gully is not just the big gully that runs from Manenzil Road going all the way down to the sea. It has tributaries. Mm-hmm. All of the gullies that you see, the small gullies, for example, Grand Spen Gully, all of those, Charlton Gully, all of them contribute to the Sandy Gully. And as rain falls and dirt and mud goes into the gully, it congregates close to the mouth of the gully. And it has been congregating there for decades. And we are going to have to find a way to deal with it. And I think Jamaicans have to appreciate, and all the stakeholders have to appreciate, that these things are massive investments that require a massive amount of funds, which is why the procurement process has to be so transparent, because with such a large spending, there's always room for mistakes. And we cannot afford for a project of this magnitude to be mired in any controversy. So I appreciate the member of parliament who has worked with his community to demonstrate, but the demonstration is not going to cause the PIB process to be short-circuited, because I, as a minister, do not control the PIB process. I do not control it. Mm-hmm. I have to submit myself to it, because he was in parliament when the law was passed to cause this process to be what it is. I wasn't there. And I spoke to him last night and I said to him, you passed the law. You know the process. You understand what is happening. So I don't understand the protest. If it is that you have a crisis and you think it's an emergency, I am always open. You can send me a message and I will examine it. The idea that you need to protest to make people aware that there's a crisis is unnecessary, because the member of parliament has an open line to me. He has an open line to the National Works Agency CEO, who he speaks to on occasion. And he also has an open line to the Prime Minister, who is indeed the Minister of Works. So I consider this protest to be something that the people have right to protest, but it was not something that was necessary, because it's not a case where a government that doesn't listen or doesn't speak to person.
Those interim works that you're speaking of to those most problematic areas in the gully, when is that set to get underway?
So I have had a conversation with the CEO of the NWA yesterday, where we're in the process of doing a tender for that section behind the Waterhouse. We consider it to be a serious issue. The process of doing a tender doesn't start with me and the CEO. That process started a while back. So the NWA was indeed aware of this issue and was starting to act on it. So I don't want persons to construe that the reason why we're going to fix it is because the member of parliament staged that protest. No. The NWA is constantly monitoring the Sandy Gully, because the Sandy Gully is, if the Sandy Gully fails, Kingston has to close down, because the entrances to Kingston is on one side is actually, you have to cross the Sandy Gully on Spanish Town Road and several other areas in order to enter Kingston. So we can't afford for any failure of the Sandy Gully, because it will also lead to significant flooding in the city. And the Sandy Gully is the main drain of the city. So we take very keen attention to the Sandy Gully and what is happening in it. And wherever we see things reaching a crisis, we intervene. So we expect that I'm going to have further conversations with the CEO to see what the timeline is and how quickly we can execute it, whether the CEO considers it an emergency. Because if I read it to you, what the definition, well, not really the definition, what the outline of an emergency is based on the Procurement Act, you might be interested to hear. So, for example, there's a handbook that tells you about contracting for emergency circumstances, for repairs and remedial action necessary to preserve public safety and property, or to avoid great social harm or significant public inconvenience. And it says that it must be urgent, it must be unpredicted, for reasons of extreme urgency brought about by events unforeseen by the procurement entity. You hear that, Tana?
I do.
For reasons of extreme urgency brought about by events unforeseen. I don't know if you remember in COVID, where the Ministry of Health needed to take some Jamaicans off a ship and put them in a hotel. Mm-hmm. And they put them in the hotel using the emergency procurement process. And the accountability net entity I think it was the Auditor General said that was not an emergency. You breached the procurement process.
Yes.
Now, the public will say, well, there are Jamaicans suffering on a ship. It's an emergency. COVID was an emergency. The accountability entity did not see it as an unforeseen circumstance. So the head of entity who has the power to determine what is an emergency will have to look and see whether this issue is unforeseen and whether it is something that will pose a threat to or cause social harm or significant public inconvenience. And that is a very narrow definition of what an emergency is. Not the dictionary definition, but the definition that is within the Procurement Act.
A final one, Minister, before we let you go, have to take this question from our YouTuber asking, how are you going to manage this situation of people throwing garbage into the gully, which is a part of the problem as well?
It's an ongoing challenge. I mean, the Ministry of Local Government, I know, is soon to embark in another few months on a massive public education campaign about how people manage their waste, especially bulky waste. I know that the National Solid Waste Management Authority from time to time does do public education. And I think there is also a need for us to look at how the legislation is structured to deal with persons who throw bulky waste within. We have persons are going to say, but if we had more garbage trucks, the issue is not about garbage trucks. We do have significant garbage collection in the city, but what we find is that a culture has evolved over the last decade or so of people throwing garbage out of cars on the road. I mean, if you look at some of our roads, you see the plastic bottles, you see the fast food boxes. That has nothing to do with whether garbage trucks are there or not, because a garbage truck is not going to follow a taxi. What it has to do with is a culture, just as how people are living on the gully. It's a cultural thing. People came to Kingston, didn't have anywhere to live, so the best place they could find that nobody would touch them was on the gully. Just like in many of these communities, the trucks cannot go in these communities because the roads are too narrow. Mm-hmm. So these are comprehensive things that you have to look at. It cannot just be, okay, well, people are throwing a fridge in the gully, let's just lock them up. No. Can a garbage truck reach into the community? Can we find a solution where people can bring their garbage to the front of the community if the garbage truck cannot reach there? And these are some of the things that I know that Minister McKenzie has been thinking about, how to deal with these informal communities, these communities that settled many decades ago, and how to help them to have a cleaner environment and not contribute to the degradation of such an important asset as the Sandy Gully.
Yes, as we wrap, Minister, here's a suggestion for you. OMS Associates is saying you might want to consider a community meeting with a member of parliament. So that's to inform residents, because they might just not know the details you're providing here about what is being done in relation to the Sandy Gully.
Sure. I mean, I'm always willing to engage with the public. The public are my employers. So as a minister, my duty is always to engage and to do programs like this where I'm sure some of his constituents are listening. Mm-hmm. And he also can assist us by transferring the information that he heard in Parliament. He can get a copy, which he has, of my sectoral presentation, where I did outline in the sectoral presentation on page 16. If he wishes to get a copy, I can give it to him. The plans for the Sandy Gully and the North and South Gullies. And whenever I'm available or the time permits, I have no issue going into the communities and outlining. The fact is, though, that when we're doing the studies, we also go into communities and speak to the persons there so that they are aware of the plans we have and the impact that will take place as we seek to repair their gully.
Robert
Morgan.
Morgan.
There's a case where the persons are not engaged. They are engaged in the consultation purposes, in the consultation process for the capital project through the PIAB process.
The Minister with Responsibility for Works this morning providing us with some updates in relation to the Sandy Gully. Mr. Morgan, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you very much, Tana, and thanks to your listeners for always listening to the messages that we have. Thank you.
All right, going to take a break now on Nationwide This Morning and come back with more.
By Grace Good Move is
8:28.
Fontana Pharmacy has a wide variety of items from pharmaceuticals, household, cosmetics, toys, and more. The temperature by Fontana Pharmacy. It's all good inside is
31 degrees Celsius in capital city Kingston, 30 out west in Montego Bay, and in Mandeville, 26 degrees Celsius.
Looking for a partner on your financial journey? Look no further. JPS and Partners Cooperative Credit Union Limited offers attractive loan specials and easy savings plans. Plus, becoming a member is simple. If you're over the age of 16 and want to join a credit union that truly cares about your financial wellness, you may be eligible for membership. Conditions apply. Call or visit us at www.jpscu.com to find out more and start building your future today. JPS and Partners Cooperative Credit Union Limited, your financial partner for life.
Are you ready to pursue undergraduate studies but you are unsure of what to study and where? Choose the internationally accredited University of the Commonwealth Caribbean UCC. We offer on-campus and online undergraduate programs in marketing, business administration, information technology, HR management, finance management, and more. Apply now at ucc.edu.jm or call 906-3000 or visit any of our campuses island-wide. UCC, fostering leadership and innovation.
Experience the joy of buying a brand new Hyundai without breaking the bank. Yes, buying a brand new car should never leave you broke. From stylish designs and safety features to comfortable driving and reliability, Hyundai is the choice. Hyundai vehicles come standard with 2 years free service and 5 years warranty and roadside assistance for your peace of mind. Drive 2 years without service cost and 5 years without fear of being stranded. Hyundai. Conditions apply.
Buying, selling, or dealing with property issues? Don't make costly mistakes. Tune in to All Things Real Estate, where Sophia Bryan from the Law Boss firm breaks down land disputes, estate planning, and more in simple, clear terms. Join her every Wednesday in April at 8:30 a.m. and get the expert legal insight you need.
Are you looking to drive sales and build brand visibility this summer? Be a vendor at the nationwide 90 FM Back to School Fair on Saturday, August 9 at Harmony Beach Park, Montego Bay. Families from St. James, Hanover, Westmoreland, Trelawney, and St. Elizabeth will be out in full force. And you should be too. Call us at 876-630-1210 or email sales@nationwidenewsnetwork.com to secure your spot. Let's put your brand where it matters, on the ground.
.8:31 on the clock, 8:31. Let's get right into this segment now, talking about the MSME Business Roadshow pitch winners. Well, the Ministry of Industry, Investment and Commerce, you'd know by now that it's MSME Business Roadshow, which puts micro and small businesses under the spotlight through a pitch competition that provides an opportunity for those businesses, micro and small, to get exposure and to win a cash grant of $4,000 for those in the small business category and $200,000 for those in the micro business category. How were the winners selected? Well, they were each allotted 5 minutes to pitch their ideas to a panel of judges in the two respective categories, and those judges and the live audience then adjudicated who should get the cash prizes. 10 winners overall, 5 from each category. So far we featured 8 of the pitch winners, 4 from each category. This morning we speak to the final 2. Those 2 are founder and creative director of Whisked Away, Kimali Cunningham, the micro winner, and the founder of All That Glitters 876, Celette Leng, winner in the small business category. Good morning.
Good morning.
How would that laugh?
Miss Leng here, Celette Leng.
Miss Leng, Celette Leng. Where's Kimali Cunningham?
I'm here. Good morning.
Good morning to you. You all right?
I'm all right. Thank you.
Good. Celette look like she eat a strong breakfast this morning, man. Kimali, you didn't eat breakfast yet?
Lyocell, of course.
Talk up the man. Make it clear so you have more than a weak cup of tea in your belly.
I will definitely.
Yeah, man. There you go now. Now you sound powerful. Very well. Select All That Glitters 876. Tell me about the company, when you founded it, what inspired you to start the business and how things have been going.
All right. We started way back in 2019. All That Glitters 876. Really and truly, ADG 876. We go by that acronym. We're a Jamaican-based skincare and hair care brand. We create clean, natural products using locally sourced ingredients. We really wanted to solve the problem of harsh chemical-laden products by offering safe alternatives with ingredients that were found right here in Jamaica. We attack issues like acne, hyperpigmentation, dry scalp, or, we aim to serve people who are simply using to just switch to more natural self-care. From we have started, we have had a few hiccups. It has been a bumpy road. However, we have been growing and we have been thriving.
So ADG 876, specifically what products, if I am I'm a teenager coming into my own and I want my skin to look good, I want my face to look good and my arms and my legs. And if I'm into hair, if I'm a boy with hair that I'm very much into well-groomed hair, girl, the same thing. What are the products that ADG 876 offers me?
All right. So we have a whole line of natural soaps. We have our charcoal soap or turmeric soap. Our charcoal soap, by the way, it's not just plain charcoal. We infuse it with natural clays. We have our turmeric soap, which is a mix of turmeric and charcoal that can be utilized on the skin. What plenty of persons do not realize, however, you can't just use a soap. A soap cleanses, but then you have to moisturize. So we have moisturizers, we have toners in order to balance the pH of the face as well. We also have masks and we have scrubs. So we actually give you the full package where your skin is concerned. We have customers who would have ailments of the skin, spots on the skin and that kind of stuff. We have turmeric bottles and or with butter which address that. And when it comes on to hair, our best-selling product is actually our hair growth oil. Our hair growth oil, males, females, everybody's attracted to our hair growth oil. We also have our beard oil for those young men who are trying to get, the beard to come in. And I cannot leave this out, or castor oil, which is actually hand-pressed by my father. We try to ensure that we know where it is coming from, so we don't have any extra additives, because once salt gets into castor oil, it will do the opposite of what you want it to do. So those are the main things that we have that persons gravitate to and that could help those who you would have mentioned a while ago.
Excellent. Kimali Cunningham Morning again, founder and creative director at Whisked Away. What's Whisked Away?
Whisked Away is a specialty food brand that remains traditional to Jamaican pastry. We're also a health conscious for consumer. We focus on creating gluten-free, dairy-free, and sugar-free version of our beloved Jamaican pastries like gizzards, potato pudding, coconut drops, cornmeal pudding, all of that with cultural authenticity. Our business is addressed to growing demand for inclusive, allergic-friendly, and wellness-focused in the Caribbean cuisine, especially for those with dietary restriction who still want to enjoy a taste of home.
How long have you been in business?
Since 2024, last year.
Yeah. You celebrated your 1 year anniversary already?
Yes, we did in March.
Yes. All right, what's your best-selling product?
The sweet potato pudding. Everybody wants sweet potato pudding. That's the number one product.
Yes.
Second is our cornmeal pudding. Followed with the greater cake, the pink and white.
Yeah, the pink and white. So you're a pudding expert.
Yes, sir, I would say that.
There you go. What's the I'm not going to ask you the secret, but what is it that you think sets apart your products? Because a lot of people make sweet potato pudding, although not everybody can make it good. But you say that they flock to yours. What do you think gives you the edge?
What gives us the edge?
Yes, in terms of putting it, yeah.
And I'm not going to share with
No, man, me don't want you to tell me the secret. No, Sam, I couldn't do that to you. So it's all in the mix.
It's all in the mix. It's
Yeah.
all in the mix. And the fact that we have something for everyone. So when they have their restrictions, we have something for you. Gluten-free, we have something for you. Everyone. Dairy-free, we have something for you.
You know, Kimani, one of the things that people, especially older folk who, you know, older people now becoming more health conscious, you know, because they don't want to spend as much money at the doctor. So they say, boy, you know, I long to eat a greater cake, and especially if they're overseas and they come back, but I can't eat the greater cake then because I eat the greater cake then when it's like I'm eating sugar. So I can't even taste the flavor, you know, what the people make because it's just pure sugar I'm eating. What can you tell them about Whisked Away's greater cake?
Okay, we can tell them about Whisked Away Greater Cake because we offer the sugar-free option.
Ah.
So so we have sugar-free option.
Kimani? Hello?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I'm hearing you now, right? You say you have the sugar-free option, yes?
Yeah, we have the sugar-free option for them.
Right.
And if it's done to others, they may have to wait for it to be done.
Yes. That's fine. And even the one with the sugar, you're saying that you balance it so it's not the source of sugar people eat.
No, it's balanced. So it's the coconut that we use.
Yes. And believe me, that's a key concern for people, as I said, especially people who are more health conscious. They want to eat greater cake. They want it to be sweet, you know, but Lord God, man, some people just make it and it's just pure sugar with coconut making a guest appearance. Right. You don't make that, and you make the sugar-free. You have the sugar-free option as well.
Right. And the gluten-free, for those who can't consume the regular flour, you have the gluten-free flour that we use instead of the counter flour.
Yes. Excellent. So tell me now, Kimali, what do you think was the difference for you in the pitch competition? What do you think impressed the judges and the audience?
Well, they told me to leave the sweet potato pudding that I had bought for sure. So I would like to thank the judges for recognizing me on my potato pudding.
Yes.
Being recognized, you know, it's a big win for me. It's not just only the win, but it was also for the judges who believed in my culinary rooted in innovation.
Yes. And what would you like to say to the MIIC for giving you this opportunity to pitch and to win, and just for the support that they offer through the various entities under their umbrella?
Okay, I would like to say a big thank you to them because for the networking with the fellow MSMEs in receiving expert feedback from them as well, and for gaining valuable insight and connections. You know, it also gave me more confidence to speak about Whisked Away.
Yeah.
Very essential for growth and opportunities. You know, being space reminded me that I am not alone and there's a vibrant community of Jamaican entrepreneurs and pushing out boundaries.
Yeah. Do you think that it will take you long to be in a position to start exporting?
Not long with the MSME on board, with the University of Commerce on board, not long.
Yeah.
They have also set a path for us, so a big thank you to them.
Yeah. Silette, same question for you in terms of what you think did it for you in this pitch competition. What caused you to beat everybody else?
Wow, I honestly think it was my attention to detail, my sincerity and my passion. I think that is what drew the judges in. They were able to see that I was really passionate about what I do, because it's not just about the product for me, it's about educating the wider community on, you know, how natural products, not just mine, but just natural ingredients overall could be used. And I think that they were really drawn to that aspect as well.
You spoke to your father helping you with the castor oil product. Is he the only family member who helps you? Do you have employees?
I actually have 2 part-time employees who assist me with production and social media, content creation, and, you know, monitoring of my social media. But the family members, my father is the person who I would get my natural castor oil from.
Excellent. And so what do you want to say to the MIIC for the opportunity, the platform given to you?
Wow. A huge thank you. Like, this winning the pitch competition was way beyond the prize itself, but it was about the exposure, the mentorship that was given. With Miss Vista, we mentioned the networking. That was extremely valuable. Really and truly, it helped me to sharpen my business pitch. It gave me real-time feedback, and it allowed me to connect with, other entrepreneurs who are also building great things. And it gave me a sense of confidence and clarity in regards to where I currently am and where it is that I need to go. And honestly, I do believe that with the help of the ministry and with JBDC and with all the other entities that we were able to network with, exploitation, as you would have mentioned a while ago, is actually possible for me and my business in the near future.
Excellent.
I just want to say a huge thank you to them.
Excellent. Well, Kimali Cunningham, Whisked Away. She's the founder and creative director and the founder of All That Glitters 876, ADG 876, Celeste Ling. Thank you, ladies. Wishing you all the best. And I hope to see big things from both of you. So before you go, Celeste Ling, where can people find you on social media? How can they contact you otherwise?
You can find us at All That Glitters 876. That's ALLDATGLITTERS 876. And that is on Instagram, that is on Facebook. All of our email address is allthatglitters876@gmail.com. Everything follows our name. So we're available on socials via our actual name.
Excellent. Kimali Cunningham, where can we find Whisked Away?
You can find Whisked Away on Instagram. That's WHYSKD Away on Instagram and Facebook. You can give us a WhatsApp call or regular call at 1-876-501-9151.
501-9151.
That's right.
There you go. All right, ladies, all the best. Have a good morning. Thank you for speaking this morning.
Thank you for having us.
Okay, good. Whisked Away's creative director and founder, Kimali Cunningham, winner of the micro pitch competition put on by the MIIC under its MSME Business Roadshow, and Celeste Ling. She's a small business. Well, she won in the small business category. Her business, All That Glitters 876. Break time. Birthdays after these.
You're listening to Nationwide 90 FM. The time is
8:46. You know my birthday today?
I do.
You know my birthday today?
Whose birthday?
Who's my birthday today? You know whose birthday today? No, King. Give me a smart one. I said that birthday.
July 16.
Today, July 16, 2025, is the birthday of the Speaker of the House of Representatives.
Oh, it is?
The Member of Parliament for East Rural St. Andrew.
Juliet.
Introducing.
Yes.
In the, can we say green corner?
I suppose we
green
can.
corner, Juliet Holness. Juliet Holness, it's your birthday today, we're being told. Happy birthday to you, Mrs. Holness. All the very best to you on this day. And we certainly hope that the family makes you feel loved and appreciated, and the constituents. Sure, you're going to be among them today. So we're sure that they will show you their love and appreciation for you. So happy birthday, Juliet Holness, on this day, Wednesday, July 16, 2025.
Happy birthday to you. Wishing for you a wonderful day. Sharing a birthday with the Speaker of the House over on Facebook, Verona Edwards. It's your birthday. Happy birthday, Verona. Happy birthday as well to Karen Layla, Samantha Noak, is it? Happy birthday. Happy birthday greetings also going out to Alfonso Fraser. Patrice Dubidad, it's your birthday. Happy birthday to you, Patrice. Richard Gale, happy birthday. Happy birthday. Wishing for you a lovely day. Happy birthday greetings also going out. This one says to my colleague at JSIF, Jadave Brown. Happy birthday to you. Celebrating your birthday today. And the message says, from the July crew, we love her. Happy birthday.
I hear that today is also, well, not I hear, I've just confirmed. I saw one of the YouTubers mention it and I just double checked it. Today is the birthday of one of the greatest Jamaican musicians, artists. And that's saying something because we have so many great ones, and for him to be a bona fide great. His name was Desmond Dekers. But you know Jamaicans say, we call him Mr. Deckers. So Desmond Decker. Yeah, Desmond Decker. Today, 1941, July 16, when he was born. Mr. 007, Mr. Shantytown himself. Mr. Poor Me Israelite. Yeah? So, Desmond Decker was born on this day, July 16, 1941. May your soul rest in peace, sir. I hear that Robbie from Arsenal TV is in Jamaica. Morning, Robbie. Big up yourself as a gunner. All the best to you. But drop in Desmond Decker, the king.
Get up in the morning, slaving for bread, sir, so that every mouth
come Tana. Oh, me Israelite. Sure.
On my kids, up and I leave me. Darling, she said I was yours to receive.
Oh, me Israelite.
Shut them a tear up choices ago. I don't want to end up like Bonnie and Clyde. Oh, me Israelite. After a storm, there must be a calm. If you catch me in a farm, you sound your alarm.
Oh, me Israelite. Yeah, give me something else. Yeah, give me Shantytown. Give me Shantytown. Why not? Greatness. This man was a trailblazer. Yeah? Jamaican music, top of foreign charts. Desmond. Yeah? First of his kind.
Oh, 7. Jesus, please. Oh, 7. At Ocean 11, I know rude boys are going.
God, J.A. Queen saying, George, you ever heard of a club named Center Pole on Constant Spring? What are you talking about? Everybody knows Center Pole. Enough night, Jermaine, man, I go up there, look for me.
It's true?
Of course. The boy used to be a turntable club, no? Red Hills Road, Center Pole, Gemini, all them places there. House and Leo. Yeah, man. Oh, no. Can't mention that one, Mr. King. Can't mention that one. Yeah, wait, there's one off Oxford Road Town. I can't mention that one. Let's just say it's a royal palace.
Very well. Trust me, I get it. I get the picture.
King, you're too young. You're too young to have gone to Big Five, right? Red Hills Road. Yeah. Before his time.
NA Compliance sending happy birthday to Khalid Smith from Uncle Desmond, cousins Tyreek, Jaden, and Dylan. Happy birthday to you, Khalid. Arlene Rose sending happy birthday blessings to cousin Kingsley Powell in Whitehall, St. Elizabeth, and lives in the U.S. Happy birthday to you, Kingsley, coming from your siblings and the entire family. Veronica Burke Smith sending happy birthday to beautiful sister Maya Bravo, who is over there in Canada. Happy birthday to you, Maya, coming from Veronica Burke Smith. Who else is celebrating a birthday today? Let us know.
You can get it if you really want. You can get it if you really want. You can get it if you really want. But you must try and try. You succeed at last.
Katie Buello sending happy birthday to, this one says, for my son Maestro, the firstborn. Blessings to you. Happy birthday. Love you. Kisses and hugs. So happy birthday to you, Katie Buello's firstborn Maestro. Scrolling on down real quick. Any other birthdays? If you're celebrating your birthday today, happy birthday to you. If it's your anniversary, happy anniversary as well.
Try. You succeed at last. Don't you know it? Listen, Rome was not built in a day.
Robert Lours sending happy birthday to Mrs. Christine Lours, 66 Kennedy Drive, and some city Spanish town, St. Catherine. Robert says, all right, giving out the whole address there, but happy birthday to Mrs. Christine Lours from Robert Lours. And Michelle, or is this Michael Ray saying that I didn't read his birthday? Drop it back in the comments real quick, Michael, so that we can give you that shout out.
Rambabadu bam 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 badui. Rambabadu bam bam. Intensified. Rambabadu bam 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 badui. Rambabadu bam bam. Music like dirt. Music like dirt, Tana. For your money's worth. For the money, we have. Girls like dirt. For your money's worth. Sing it to me, children. Arlene Rose says, I used to work as a cashier in the kitchen at Center Pole. Really know Arlene?
Arlene's story. They have a big family.
Yeah, man.
She used to work at Center
Pole. Alright then.
Richard Henry says happy birthday to firstborn Paris Henry from your dad. So hey Paris, it's your birthday. Happy birthday to you. Wishing for you a lovely day. And that's about it for the show. Thank you so much for tuning in to Nationwide This Morning, NTM. Thanks so much to our technical operator and the musical maestro, Jermaine King, or super producer, Michelle McCrae Smith. Up next, the Consumer Hour with Norgay Banton, and at 10, Cliff Hughes Online. Donna P is sending happy birthday wishes to Kay Ellis. Have a fabulous day and a year. So happy birthday to you, Kay Ellis, from Donna P here in the YouTube chat. Yeah. Signing out for NTM. I'm Tana.
I'm a whispers man. If you know, you know.
Good morning.
You've just heard Nationwide This Morning on Nationwide 90 FM.
Those fancy girls, sing it to me, children. Rum ba ba do bam 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 ba do. Rum ba ba do bam bam. Intensify. Rum ba ba do bam 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 ba do. Rum ba ba do bam bam. Festival. Rum ba ba do bam 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 ba do. Rum ba ba do bam bam. 68.
Fearless and fair. Nationwide 90 FM.
Tax Administration Jamaica TAJ is advancing its mission to modernize public service delivery with a significant overhaul of its motor vehicle registration process. As of Monday, July 21, the TAJ will be issuing electronic motor vehicle registration certificates, replacing physical registration certificates, decals, and stickers. Stay tuned to today's feature to hear about the new system and how to better prepare yourself ahead of its implementation. With the rollout of the new online system, private vehicle owners will now have more convenient and paperless options for renewing and accessing essential documents. This